And we go here this morning as we get going on a Monday that could be an interesting one here. A lot of individual movers helping so far this morning, including some of the semiconductors back to the upside. Anything steel related with these new tariff headlines getting a bit of a boost, including U.S. Steel. We'll talk about that coming up. Overall, the market just taking up pre-market highs right now. 527 here comes and goes for the Qs, 0.8%. To start off, as I mentioned, what could be a pretty interesting week. A lot of earnings to come later in the week. Biggest day this week going to be Thursday, it looks like, after the close. I mean, there's earnings every single day, but those are the biggest names as far as tech is concerned. One of them that we'll get, Airbnb, I noticed a little bit strong here this morning. A little bit better than the overall market. Full percent to the upside here. Had a good day. Back on Friday, Miss Adara beside me this morning. Sharif taking a day off. How was your weekend?
Weekend was pretty good. Very, very relaxing. How was yours?
Very good. Not long enough, as always, but here we are, back at it once again.
Indeed.
We get these headlines on the weekend over 25% tariffs coming for steel going into the U.S. This is not the first time that we've heard this from President Trump. First time around, if you remember, it was lumber and steel that were targeted. Those then later removed. So here we are back with 25% though. So a lot of steel names getting a bump here.
I think what's interesting too is just the amount that U.S. Steel got attention during his press conference with Prime Minister Ishiba of Japan back on Friday too. If you recall, Ishiba basically called this attempted acquisition of U.S. Steel by Nippon as more of an investment than an acquisition. Donald Trump said he stood by initially his decision not to allow it to go through, but then there were CBS reports like seconds later basically saying he's actually considering letting it go through. So there's a lot of questions with regard to this acquisition, and then it gets even more interesting when you have this move up on the steel tariff.
Yeah, huge gap this morning for X. We've given it basically all back at this point, right back to where we were on Friday. I mean, it's still 3.8%, but we were way up here to start things off, 42.80 this morning in the pre-market. So a lot of macro-related movement this morning as far as steel is concerned. A little bit quiet around the city, a little bit quiet in here this morning, guys. Good morning.
Why might that be? Was something last night? What was I'm trying to remember what happened yesterday.
No one actually watched the Super Bowl, did they?
No.
Not
much.
If you watch it,
not much of it.
I was telling Adara in the as we're getting a coffee there, and it was 34-0 in the third quarter.
Come on.
So it's like, yeah. Anyways, the Eagles, congratulations.
Yeah,
that was a big party there in Philadelphia. So, I don't have my stream deck going, but we'll say bang to Eagle fans there.
Hang on.
As I think that's going to be a team now for a while. That is for sure. They're pretty young. I don't know.
They were impressive.
They're going to be a problem for a minute. So congratulations, everybody in Philadelphia there.
Yeah, that said, I mean, the market's going to be more exciting than most of that game was. Like,
oh, yeah.
Unless you're a hardcore Eagles fan, like, that's not what you're looking for. It was at no point competitive. Like, they were dominant from the beginning. And it was like, do they have an answer in the second drive? And the second drive looked just like the first. I'm like, they don't stand a chance. Like, there was just nothing their line could do. It was cool to watch some of the young guys on
the thing
Philly.
is, everyone was calling the demise of Kansas City pretty much all year, and it only took it all the way to the Super Bowl. Like, everyone was like, Kansas City's not the same, and they just washed everybody out, and then obviously they come into the Super Bowl and lose. But Tom Brady had a nice watch on. I saw that. I heard that Kendrick was not. I mean, I was listening to a little bit of it. I couldn't really understand too much of it, but it wasn't too bad, but apparently not too great either. So
he cracked it.
They were not. I saw videos of people in the stands, and they were just like, what is going on here? I don't think it was the greatest pick by the Super Bowl committee, and we'll see what they come up with next year. But
we'll see. I mean, there's stuff to like about it. Obviously, he had a couple funny moments going at Drake, which we knew that was going to happen. But ultimately, I don't know. I felt like it was a weird choice. You know how I felt about it last week. I'm just like, if you're going to go that route, it should have been Lil Wayne, but it didn't really matter at this point. But, I mean, what's crazy about this is, like, you can't make this up. Monday.com is up 24%. And as I turned on the stream, what was the ad was for Monday.com before we came on here. So no case of the Mondays for this stock. And yes, I was waiting to say that. Tesla's red, Nvidia, do not sleep on them. And we can't forget, just because you have a bunch of news and earnings this week, don't sleep on the big movers from last week. Firm 52-week highs. Uber, Bill Ackman, Roblox was all over the place, up and down. Although Roblox was down for us all weekend. We kept it was crashing every time we opened it. So I don't know if it was maybe just us, or I know PlayStation was down, but yeah, we couldn't play Roblox all weekend. Well, my daughter couldn't play Roblox all weekend. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, I get suckered into playing it. I wanted to look here. Big Bear AI is going to be the #1 name here on the sticky note. So we'll look to trade Big Bear today with a 36% short float. This name up another 8%, continues to go. We've seen the strength in Palantir and some of these AI plays, analytic AI plays. There goes Big Bear AI again, up another 8 and change percent. This is a great stock for sure. Has its moments, right? It will give you opportunities to get in. So I feel like we can wait for it. We don't have to necessarily go too crazy over here. But I was looking at $10 break through $10, and I was looking at a $9 long. So we'll talk about all of that as we go. VWAP played beautifully there on Friday. We'll see if it can hold it as well today. Right now you're right at it. 200 period, okay, didn't hold on Friday afternoon. We'll wait to see if that can hold as well. That's at $9. So, I mean, I like Big Bear AI here today. It should be a fun, every day is a great day. Just a matter of finding the right names. And then I have Uber on here as well, Nvidia, Tesla, a couple good ideas. And then, yeah, we talked about steel there. Nucor is, this is the only steel name that I own, and it's been a rough ride for Nucor. But yeah, there it is. Gets a little bit of a relief and trying to hold out up here, 140 and change. Nice little bottom. Now whooshing up, but look at that, like whoops. Yeah, straight upside right now. So we'll have to watch out for Nucor and X and all of that. There's many ETFs. I don't know if we're gonna have Michael, but XME, I believe. Yep, XME Spiders, metal and mining ETF. So this would be, again, we talked about like when the jets and all these airlines were sort of going there. You could get into the Jets ETF. This might be something here as well if you're looking for metals and mining. What, there's only one banana? Oh, there's a tariff on banana?
That's why I got my own.
The banana on tariff is 50%? Yeah. That's a lot, Randy. That's a lot. Thank you.
That's cold.
Yeah. We were just talking about how it wasn't much of a game, to be honest with you there. So. Yeah, you didn't like the halftime show either? Yeah.
That's basically what everyone's saying.
Let me guess, you couldn't understand it? All right, so
the imagery was easy to understand.
I mean, I also read that, like, unfortunately, Serena Williams' older sister was murdered by the Crips, and then she's out there Crip walking. So I don't know.
You know, it's actually there's actually a misnomer.
It's really weird.
It's actually not a Crip walk.
Oh.
So both. And it's just like I saw a YouTube thing about it.
Oh, okay.
Like both the Bloods and the Crips both do the Sea Walk. Oh. It's just that the music industry is dominated by the Crips, so mostly people do it in the videos. So it gets known as the Crip Walk, which I didn't even realize. When you think about it, most of like the famous rappers from LA are
Snoop Dogg,
essentially Crips, not Bloods. But yeah, I saw that moment. I was like, that was weird.
Yeah, I thought it looked. I mean, she looked great out there. I was like, oh my god, this is hilarious.
Like, where'd that come from? Okay.
But, yeah, not too many guests there. That's SZA, and then Samuel L. Jackson's always around. He's doing everything. That guy, I like Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah, I love that. I love that too.
Fubo. Yeah, I mean, there's gonna be lots of names going on here today. Palantir is still remaining a little high, but I think it's about even right now. Yeah. Oh no, it's back over 12 again. Okay, so yeah, no, not doing too much, but we did have this move down. That's why it feels like the fact that we're up 1.3% had a big move down into the close. So I just wanted to watch out for Palantir today. 111, 112. So okay, let's go back over to the desk.
All right, we'll see if we can connect with Michael Noss here this morning. I haven't heard from him yet, but I'm sure he will stop by. I was just reading a note here on Google from Bank of America, gaining back a little bit here so far this morning in the pre-market, back above that initial resistance on the way back down. 187 was a bit of a problem after that early dump on Friday morning, but trying to regain 187 right now for Google. A few other things of note here. I mean, we'll touch on more of the steel angle as we go this morning, but ON Semiconductor with earnings this morning, so there are still some semi-related names to report, including the biggest of the big, Nvidia, to come in a couple of weeks here. Also, I mean, that's ON Semiconductor not really going to affect things as far as semis are concerned, but we are seeing relative strength once again in Nvidia right across the board. Intel as well, trying to get back to session highs here this morning, always worth a watch.
Yeah, that ON Semi report too, I want to mention because they missed on revenue and EPS, and their guidance for Q1 was also pretty bad across the board. So there's no bright spots that I can see in this report. EPS estimates between 45 and 55 cents versus 89 cents expected. Revenue they're seeing between 1.35 and 1.45 billion versus 1.687 billion estimated. Also, with regards to Intel there, I was actually seeing some notes. Apparently, one of Intel's AI executives is leaving the company to be the CEO of Nokia, so more turnover with Intel. Of course, as you know, we still don't have a CEO after Pat Gelsinger left, just those two interim CEOs.
Yeah, there's this OpenAI angle this morning as well. OpenAI looking to continue their development of possibly their own AI-focused chips. So that would essentially reduce reliability on Nvidia, any of the other names, AMD as well. A little bit worse off, 0.6 right now. For AMD, also gapping up after a weak session to end the week, guys.
A weak session to end the week. That one. Well, ON's had a bunch of weak sessions recently. Like it's just, yeah, it's probably worse than if you hadn't looked at this chart and you know we're in a bull market and you know tech and chips have been doing well. You probably didn't realize that this was falling apart for a minute now on ON. 52-week low breakdown. It just lost a bit at 50. It's not a ton of volume. I think that's the only thing that maybe makes it not as appealing for a trade, but flat bottom break the 50 level. If you can't regain it, I think you look for the short. The spread, I just saw a 20-cent spread on this thing, and it's only a $48 stock. But yeah, it looks incredibly weak to me. And we've been talking about sort of semi names that have been downward trending. AMD, it's not. I don't know if it gets to the bottom of the channel at this point. Like the lower highs and the lower lows have been more useful to look at the lower highs because it's actually getting up there and giving you opportunities to play the short on AMD. We'll definitely talk about Nvidia, which is a potential breakout, but at least for today, you know, you've got a bottom range here on AMD that if it tries to pop, it's been a short for a while now, and if it goes into prior resistance, almost every single day goes into prior resistance, you want to look short in AMD.
I just tweeted out this picture. This is a behind the scenes picture right here. This is basically my view as we speak. So looking over here at Brendan working hard. There's our subscriber count, 499,142. So if everyone wants to get over there, hit the like, hit the subscribe. We could get 500,000 today, which would be pretty epic if we're able to do that. And then how do I skip this message over here? I have to wait for this to end, but I want to say to everybody, we did put it out, our video, just waiting for it to go through there, but you can go over to the link here. It's on X, it's on Instagram and everything. The link to our new video that goes out, how to master the RSI. So I want to say thank you to everybody for liking the video, getting over there, 100 comments, 6,000 views, you know, sort of a new video for us. So get over there if you're wondering about RSI and you want to like add some different tools into, you know, your trading abilities. Randy, you should go check it out. RSI. Look at Brendan over here. You know, I mean, it's fancy like that. So there we go. Huh? Keanu is in there.
Keanu Reeves.
Where we got him?
Exactly. That's the quality that we're doing.
He did it pro bono.
We're now getting like, you know. We're getting these cameos in here, so you know it is what it is right now. But yeah, we're really proud of that. So go double check that. And we're going to be doing other ones as well, SMAs and things like that. Really exciting. Maybe we'll do one on
Randy
car
in there.
companies or something like that.
Should.
But anyways, yeah. Robert Space Industries. Yes, that's exactly what RSI is.
Yes.
But yeah. So anyways, go check that out if you're looking for some more information. But yeah, so for me, I was just looking at Nvidia. I know we were talking a little bit of chips there, and then we showed the behind the scenes. Go check that out for sure. No, I mean, it's down against the market, right? I mean, Nvidia will be up today, up 0.13, but you could see it kind of went the opposite of many of these tech names at the close there on Friday when we were looking at Palantir to the downside. You just saw AMD trying to get going as well, on semi on the report down. But this is working. My only problem is, again, like if the market's going to be up 1% right here and Nvidia is just barely holding on, I'm not in love with the long, but I did write it down. It is on the sticky note. It's going to be out in a second. And I just think that, you know, bouncing off this 128 to 129 area, it's quite a large area for support. But this is kind of where I'm looking. And I think you want to try it maybe at 129 if it does fall back in. And then I think, you're putting on decent shares down here. And really, unless the market's falling apart, you're just hoping that this holds again, and the buyers come in at the end of the day. So Nvidia has, it has the capabilities of running. This was 230 on Thursday. This is 230 on Friday. So we've seen a move. So if we can get the market to bring Nvidia into 128 and change, I think that's what it is. So yeah, that is what BTS stands for there, Brendan's Trading Show. So if you're gonna look one more time here, I just want to break up the feed a little bit. Like I have charts on there. We had over 200 votes on the Eagles game last night as well. But yeah, this is pretty cool. This is where we put on the makeup over here, right here. And then we have a big screen that we have chats. We're thinking about different things to do. This is Sharif and Joe's desk over there. These are some of these.
And the random tool chest that just sort of sits in front
right
of the
here,
makeup.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, random tool chest.
Where else would you put
there,
it?
And then some chairs that we throw onto the side. Oh, you can sort of see it. Adara's sitting right here. Unfortunately, you can't. The next behind the scenes, I'll take it from this angle, and we can get Adara there. Oh, you can see Adara right here. Oh, there's Adara up in that camera view.
What's perfect is you can see Brendan.
Yeah,
but
well,
not Adara. I can see.
Over.
Oh, I can see Adara, but I can't see
now
Brendan.
I can see Adara. Hey, Adara, yeah.
Because that TV blocks me.
Anyways, pretty interesting stuff. Go find it up there. We're tweeting out and putting out some fun stuff there on the socials. So, anyways, yeah, Nvidia now starting to go a little bit up. We'll see if it can hold 130. I'll get one of you next time, Adara, on the behind the scenes. So, yeah, great to have Adara and Brendan there as Sharif takes a day off. Joe, I see, is ready to rock and roll over there. There's Adara. What's up? So, that's similar.
That's it's great.
Right there. Thanks, Ramin, for that one. Okay, Michael is waiting, and we're ready to go with him. So let's throw it over to the desk.
Just seeing a note on Coinbase as well. I want to talk about MicroStrategy coming up here, but Coinbase getting a note from JP Morgan. Hey, Mr. Noss, happy Monday. How was your weekend?
It was fantastic. Happy almost 500,000 subscribers, and
right?
I watched that RSI video, so it was very good. It was CMT approved for sure.
Wow. That's all we can hope for. That's all we can hope for. Appreciate it. Lots to cover. I mean, we're still in this box overall as far as the market is concerned. You got to go all the way back to basically the beginning of December. We really haven't done anything. Is there specific areas of the market that might be that we're not paying attention to?
Yeah, so we haven't done anything, but we've done an incredibly volatile nothing, is the way I'd put it. If anyone was watching the futures last night, I know most people were watching football. I was watching the futures. Big gap down, and then in the first 5 minutes, almost went green right away. So just a crazy market. The first chart I have just kind of highlights this. And this is what's very frustrating for people who are trend following, which I am in some of my strategies. But a lot of what I'm doing over at StatSed Trading is building and testing multiple strategies and then combining those strategies together. So I've talked about my anchored view app strategy with you guys. Talk about that a little bit more if it starts going. Talk about the pullback strategy as well. But now I just want to go into a little bit of mean reversion. So mean reversion, I think, gets a little bit of a bad name because a lot of people, talk about catching a falling knife and all of that. To me, that's going in there without a plan. But if you look at this chart, any time you're trying to buy a breakout, you're having a bad time. We don't know when that's going to change. But if you were somebody that, as the market was gapping down, as the market was looking a little bit scary, as the market was dipping, you had a plan to buy things that were dipping, it's been a very good market. So this is actually a strategy that for us over at StatsEdge has been performing absolutely the best. So next chart is just the equity curve of it, just to show, right, we test these things back till at least 25 years, and it's not always great. And so I, very transparent about that over on the website. I have the whole back test you can look at every month going back 25 years. But there are times where this does really, really well. So in 2020, it had an amazing year. Even in 2022, 2023, where the market was really down and choppy, that's when this performed. So if this market is going to continue, you're kind of in a buy the dip, sell the rip type market, but it's very important not to go in there haphazardly, because then what people end up doing is, buying stocks and then averaging down when it doesn't work and so on and so forth. So that's the idea behind it. So I got a couple quick examples of what past trades looked like just to show what we're looking at. So this one was on ANF, Abercrombie and Fitch. This was a crazy one. So what we're looking for, this is a weekly chart, is an overextension down on the week, and it uses, which is funny enough, RSI. So it uses actually two RSIs. I'll give a little bit of the juice away, a longer term one and a shorter term one. So, in the video, you guys talk really, really well about RSI. And this is built off one of Larry Williams' famous strategies, the 2-period RSI. So might be something to throw in your charts, just using a 2-period and then looking for overbought, oversold. But as you can see with this one and the next chart, both of these things are, they're in uptrends, right? They're pulling back really, really harshly, but I'm not mean reverting kind of junk. I'm not mean reverting, $1 stocks that have been hitting new all-time lows forever. They have to be in an overall uptrend. So that's kind of the takeaway I wanted to give. If you're not interested in the symbols I'm just going to talk about, but you're interested in kind of putting some mean reversion into your strategy, it's best to mean revert in things that are in overall uptrends, because you're going to get that, that ebb and flow of an uptrend, where if you're trying to buy bottoms on stocks that are just getting killed, then that's not going to work so well. The other thing to note about these these trades is they're quick. We're holding for about a week here, right? When it comes to trend following, we want to be in something and we want to hold that for a long period of time, because trends can go for a long time. They can have a long period of time to develop. When it comes to mean reversion, we're looking for sell-offs and kind of quick hits at levels. So I've got 2 ideas for you from the 10 or so that get generated by the algo every week. And we need to see these things come down more. So these aren't buys at these levels. I have these levels highlighted for both of these. So the idea is we're looking for a little bit of an overextension. Based off what we're seeing today, we may not get them, but we're going to watch these all week. So the first one is GameStop. Yes, as much as I've talked a lot of smack about GameStop, I may actually be buying. We're looking for a pullback into this shaded box of around $23. And the idea here is that GameStop's actually been pretty strong, right? It's been grinding higher for the last little bit, and then now is taking a bit of a pullback. We know this one in particular can and will just pop down to a level and then rip. So we need to kind of pay attention to something like this. That is the level that the system's looking for. Again, we're trying to hold for about a week. So we're just trying to get a little bit overdone to the short side, the shorts to get a little bit too heavy-handed and to have some sort of a bounce for them to take profit. The next one here is NovoCure. So this is a bit of a therapeutics one. This is probably my favorite from all of the 10 that the system put out. And the idea is that we are looking for something that really, really has some sort of positive catalyst, in this case, this gap that occurred, and it's coming down to fill the gap. Now, the system doesn't know this, right? The system is simply just saying, let's look at these indicators that I put in and let's back test it going back all these years and see what's going well. So I like to be able to apply a little bit of my CMT kind of trader's eye to the system. And you can see this level that I highlighted ended up being very important on the upside for a long period of time. It's about $20 a share. So if we can come back to that sometime this week, that looks interesting to me, because there was a lot of people that were probably short against that $20 level. They might be caught out. So if the name comes back, it ends up getting involved. So if you guys are interested, I actually have built a website just called statsedgetrading.com/tradertv. You can check everything out there. That actually ends up helping the show as well. So if you're interested, give that a shot. But yes, try to add some mean reversion to your trading. Again, don't buy really junky stocks and don't try to pick bottoms. If you're doing mean reversion, it's generally short-term in nature. You're looking to buy the dip, and then if you get a rip, to sell that rip. And to be honest, I think that's the market we're in, so I'm not getting too excited on this pre-market action, even though it looks really good out there right now.
I mean, you've been kind of banging the table on this for the past, few weeks that we've been discussing this, specifically around that third year of a bull market being exactly what we've seen so far, just back and forth and kind of sideways. Talk maybe a little bit about the simple fact that if people are experiencing this for the first time, we've been in an uptrend for, it seems like, forever at this point, where you could just casually buy dips and then casually sell it as we got to new highs. When things change, how important it is to adjust, your thinking in that sense.
It's absolutely paramount. So one thing that I've again been getting into really deeply over at Stats Edge, trying to figure out, all of these back tests. I've got all this data going back. I'm a super big nerd, so I've been playing with it. And one thing that we all know internally, but I've actually been able to prove quite a bit, is no strategy works all the time. There's no system out there that you're going to be able to do, whether it's day trading, whether it's swing trading, whether it's investing, that's going to work. So you're 100% right, Brendan. In the last couple of years, you just bought a large cap tech name when it broke new highs, and you did fantastic. Just like in 2008, you could short anything with financial in the name and do well as well. But it's understanding what market we're potentially going to be in, and then understanding what system is going to work the best. So I think this chart is perfect. I think this chart is probably what we're going to look to see. Even if we break a little bit to the upside, maybe we come back in. If we break a little bit to the downside, we pop back in. I don't think we're going to be in this particular box all year, at least I hope not. But I think this is kind of indicative of the market. And if we go back to the last Trump administration, this is exactly what we got. We got this chop, but it was high volatility chop. This range is very wide. These candles are very big. So what you're doing is you're trying to find a strategy that plays off high volatility chop. That's why we're waiting for, on some of these levels, a bit of a down surge. There's, again, some markets where you can nice smoothly follow an uptrend. I like those better because you just buy a stock and you check on it once a day. But I think you need to not only be moving your strategy, I think you need to be a little bit more active in this markets, because as we've seen, a tweet can just kind of change the whole world on a dime.
Yeah, volatility adds all kinds of opportunity on the shorter side of things, which is great for us, obviously, doing what we do. But for investors, time to maybe shift focus. Great stuff as always. Michael Noss back with us after the close tonight. We'll see you then.
I'll talk to you then.
And looking forward to it, Michael. And I think, the second Michael said mean reversion strategies, the first thought that comes to mind to look at that phenomena, like remember what happened in Rigetti. Well, it wasn't just Rigetti, but remember what happened in a lot of the quantum names in a general sense, and it happened in the nuclear names too. Like you had that crazy run up, you get that sharp pullback, and you're just waiting for it to make a bottom, break back up, and there were multiple days that you could have been involved here for what was a spectacular bounce. And it's not just, it's not just there. We've been talking about some of the nuclear names that had that big pullback after they had ramped to the upside, like an SMR, where it made a fresh high, you pull it back, goes into a support level, and then you start bouncing. That's the idea of mean reversion. It's just the expectation that things will go up forever isn't going to be there. But some of these better looking charts or these trends can be profitable if you're willing to be patient and allow it to make a bottom, allow it to make a double bottom, whatever it might be. So there's one, a couple out there worth watching. Obviously, Rigetti's a little more volatile than SMR.
We just got punched in very small here on Uber. It just went crazy. Like it was just at $75, and I guess there's some sort of a yeah, probably some. I don't know. It wasn't actually a dark pool because there was actually some trades going off there. So we'll just wait for it. It was just we're not trading like crazy through breakouts. We talked about that. So I'm actually going to get a piece out up here near 76 and 77 and take a little bit of a hit here because that was a little bit too much action here right off the jump there. So I did like that trade. Yeah, I actually did Michael Noss's trade there, and it was, sorry, not on SMR, on Rigetti. It wasn't his trade, but it was the same kind of thinking there, where we were long at 6 and then out at 9 on that exact pullback that Neil just talked about right here. When we gave this trade to everybody, we said that our level was going to be $6. It came in, we got 6, and then the very next day we got 9, and then we felt foolish, obviously, after that for selling it as it goes all the way up. But 50% in one day, as Michael said, navigating this market seems to be something that's necessary these days. So we'll have to wait to see what we can do with all of that. There's an out there at 76.80, so we'll take a 30-cent hit on 20% of this trade. 20%, yeah. So now we'll just have to wait to see what happens. I mean, Uber's just going up and down here like crazy. So I'm waiting here as well in the teens to see if we can get a piece on this as well. But all right, that's Uber. It's trying to go here again. So yeah, I know Ackman's involved with this. So we'll have to see if there's some sort of a talk here maybe in the pre-market. But that just went from 75 to 77. Was not expecting it to break. Wow. So we're going to slowly get out of this one with Uber.
Yeah, it's a Lyft story. I just threw it up there, guys. Lyft to launch Mobileye-powered robo-taxis as soon as 2026, starting in Dallas, according to TechCrunch. So Lyft absolutely ripping right now on that, which, of course, is going to be a little bit negative for Uber. So we'll keep an eye on both of those. Nice move there for Lyft. All right, let's get into what we need to know here this morning as we head towards the open on a brand new week. If you haven't done so yet, jump down to the description of this video. Top link in the description will get you to the sign-up page. All you need is your email address. We'll send you the watch list every single day for free. Has everything that's moving in the pre-market and why on it. Let's talk about semiconductors. There's a bunch of different angles we can take here on this. group this morning. Here's AMD actually trying to get back to session highs right now. Nvidia definitely, the leader, already at session highs, but only 0.5% as far as relative strength is concerned. But a couple of different news catalysts today.
There's really a couple different ways you can take this. One is, of course, the story with Nvidia with regards to OpenAI. According to Reuters, they're reportedly working on a chip that is set for production this year with TSM. This is going to be OpenAI's first, I guess, their own chip, which could lead to some issues there with regards to Nvidia and AMD, other chip makers. And then also we have ON. This is On Semi. This went to the downside after a very weak earnings report. They missed on earnings per share. They missed on revenue. And their guidance for Q1 2025 was much lower than expected across the board. They guided earnings per share between 45 and 55 cents. Analysts are looking for the high 80 cents, so 86, 89. So it's pretty significant there with regards to that miss for On Semi.
Yeah, big one to come in a couple of weeks as far as earnings goes, of course, with Nvidia still to report. Again, if you missed that Lyft note, Lyft to launch Mobileye-powered robotaxis as soon as 2026, according to TechCrunch, starting in Dallas.
I'm in this, there's stock moving here, MNTS. I just bought a little bit of this one with some sort of a deal here to build. All right, we'll find out what's going on here with Momentus. I just took a little bit of a long here on a pop-up, just trying to play some of this excitement here. I'll get the story for you in a minute, but it's a nice pop-up there on MNTS. We had seen this happen before. It just bottomed out there near that $4 mark. We'll figure out MNTS here. Could easily turn around, up 25% rate now. And if you go into details, let me just see what the short float is on an MNTS. Well, there's Big Bear, by the way, which we'll talk about as well. That's going to be number one on my list. All right, so this one's only 3% short float right now. There it is. Expansion Defense Department contract. So we've seen large structures. That's what I thought it was. That's why I was like, I thought I heard something about space. But anyways, there it is on the screen. Thanks for that one as we get the stories. I really like that. There we go. So we can just look on the screen. But MNTS, we had seen this move up before. There must be more short than 3%, but we'll wait to see what's going on with that. That looks to me like it was a split. And if I pull down the E-signal chart, you'll see right there that it did split 1 to 4. So we do have, quite the ways to go to the upside here if it wants to. But again, MNTS awarded something right there. So we'll wait to see what happens with the Department of Defense there. So we saw Big Bear move on similar news last week. Obviously a different space, but MNTS right now, just a small one. We were in the money. We got this a little early and it did rip up. I did put an offer, but we did not get filled. So we'll have to wait to see where this one pulls back into. Looks like the bottom on MNTS. Oh no, Fubo. Oh yeah, there's some news here about Fubo as well. 380. Yeah, you got some support down here. Maybe $4 down into 380. We can have a look at that as well. I don't know if Fubo's actually moving now.
No, Fubo's not moving.
No, they're not. Okay, they're expanding their sports offerings is what was said. And then on Uber, we did get a little bit of a bump up there. We were just sitting there. We got 77.30s there, so that was a good bump up. We're in less than half of this position right now as I liked it. But with Lyft going absolutely nuts there, and we get ready for the rundown. But Lyft is, again, nice move to the upside. We're talking about semis, but there it goes. We'll see if Uber can also catch lightning in a bottle. But this MNTS is a new position, down 50 cents right now.
Yeah, and Nvidia just broke the high of the day.
Oh, man,
so Nvidia 131, up 1%. So you can say all you want about OpenAI developing their own chips and being a competitor for Nvidia. It doesn't seem to matter right now. So obviously this is going to look a little bit strong. It's got a bit of a gap fill that we were trying to press. I almost said yesterday. On Friday, I thought it was an inside day on Friday, which I'm always going to pull back into prior highs and into support. So if 128 is not going to be a thing, then 130 is going to be, 130 to 130 and a third. We'll look for that to be the go zone on Nvidia. Already talked a little bit about ON and how that looks weak, and AMD, its situation, which is usually a short the pop. But just one other one in the space. SMCI up 5.5%. They're supposed to give us numbers tomorrow after the bell, and it's already in the midst of a rally here. Multiple days in a row. I guess once we knew that they were going to give us numbers, you've been seeing a little bit of a relief rally here in SMCI. After the bell, expected tomorrow, we're going to get their earnings. And this is clearing out prior resistance here on the daily at 37. As long as it holds this 37, that's Friday highs. Look for the longs.
We had Nvidia written down here as 128 to 129 long. What I wrote down on the sticky note is pretty simple there. I already talked about it on the show. Watch the 128 support closely. I think if the day, with the late day runs recently, if we hold that 128, we could get a nice move into the close. So it's definitely something on watch right now. We had already highlighted this earlier, and I had said, like, well, we were uncertain of Nvidia because of the market. Well, now it's played catch up easily there. So now it's ripping. Obviously, we keep on saying this. It's the only name that I bought on that dip recently was Nvidia. So yeah, I really like it. Just quick check on Intel because Intel's always near that $20 mark or $19 to $20 mark. So I'm not going to get too interested in Intel until we break above 20 again. So I just always want to be double checking that. Lyft is coming back in a little bit. Uber and this MNTS is still just doing its thing. I bought a little bit more MNTS down here. We're still long right now at 497, as you can see on the bottom. Just playing around with this one. I thought there was a chance that it could have gone there. We had seen Big Bear move on Department of Justice news as well. We don't have Big Bear on there. It's my #1 idea for today. And we're, again, 10 million shares, going to do tons. Really like, obviously, the momentum here, a huge short float. I just want to see if Big Bear pulls back into this $9 mark. So I'm not going to put some bids out. We're already in this MNTS and Uber. So we're in kind of like two high-flying names already. Let's wait to see what winds up happening. But if we can hold this $9 area on 36% short float, and again, everyone's loving AI, Big Bears, it could be something down here again today. So let's just see what happens. It does give a lot of opportunity. We'll see if VWAP can play, but the problem is we're already underneath it. So yeah, we'll watch out for the 200. If we ever lose the 200, then see you later. Okay, Neil, there it is right now. Let's go. Who's with me on this one? Big Bear, MNTS, Momentus. Right now, your first chicken dinner winner right there as it's up. So we'll be down on Uber right now, holding half of or a little bit, about 40% of that position. But MNTS looks like a good little reload down there. And then now the news hitting, I guess, as we start to go back upside. MNTS, so far so good here. 20 cents in the money.
Quick note on Apple. I mean, not really. It's BOE struggling with OLED quality issues. So BOE is a supplier for OLED screens to Apple. Didn't move at all on that, but just a heads up there for AAPL. Tesla, downside. Relative weakness coming into play here. Looks like we may continue this downtrend that has been intact for the past couple of days. I mean, Tesla has been weak since the beginning of the year, let's be honest. There's nothing significant as far as news catalyst today, but worth a watch.
And we do have two analyst notes on it this morning, both of which are pretty weak. We've got Needham holding it as a hold rating, saying that they see it as an expensive stock and that it would basically need to be trading at 50 times their fiscal 2032 estimates in order to basically see, I guess, this upside for their pricing. And then we had Stifel, which lowered its price target in the stock from 492 to 474. They maintained a buy rating. They are excited about some things to come this year, but they do say near term it's a little bit, dicey as of right now. And they also said their Q4 revenue that they reported fell a little bit short of what Stifel was looking for. And Tesla, I was saying to this to Brendan off camera as well, basically closing near week lows last week. So lots of weakness in this stock, that's for sure. As of right now, actually not even holding 360s.
Elon did come out and officially, I guess, squash any kind of TikTok ties or potentially a tie to TikTok and picking it up, saying he rarely acquires companies.
Well, obviously not never. No.
Is he acquiring MNTS or what? No, I don't think. I think it'd be great to acquire TikTok, but
it would be great for
I don't think it's going to be happening. But I mean, I have Tesla written down here on the sticky note as a short. So we'll wait to see if it does come through. I wrote down 366 here, and it was just sort of looking at a level from yesterday, from Friday, and it was just about coming in right into here. Like, I still like the stock upside. I mean, it's down today, but the market's up. I never want to bet against Tesla. Like, look what happened early there on Friday. Huge move up before this happened. So we were looking for this, and I believe we had Tesla on Friday. I think it was a pretty decent trade. I mean, look at it really fall out into the close. And the fact that we fall out so much there into the close on tariff worries and all that kind of stuff, you do have now an issue. Today you get downgraded. It's underneath that 370. We said it again yesterday that the more 370s, until we get above it, we want to stay short. So, I mean, there's 370 there. I was looking at 366. as an area because that's when we lost it right there, and we never really got back up. That's between 366 and 367. Right here is 365. So yeah, if we can come back up and you know, land somewhere in this area, you know, into the open, then we're going to try to go short. That's 366 to 367. It's written here on the sticky note. If you're looking for some ideas, have a look. But that's what I'm looking for right there in Tesla. And again, it's not. We said this on Friday, man. Like, we got hit early. Oh, yeah, that's what it was. We got hit going short on Tesla in here. And then we got out when that happened. Then we had the short. The rest, that's what it was. Then we had the short the rest of the afternoon. So it was, we initially went short here on the pre-market highs and in around 375. It ripped up completely. It was a great, I can go find it on Twitter if you want. And then all the way down there into the close. Right. Okay, I remember that. So yeah, we could have that bump up there in Tesla. And I'm actually going to put the offer there right now, just in case that does come through, because I don't want to miss it if it happens. So yeah, that's a trade for me, shorting Tesla up there.
Yeah, it's like 5-6 days in a row Tesla has ended up a short trade at the open, at least. And you got to think about the fact that sometimes it's a pop and fade, and it's a little bit different. Sometimes it just falls. Other times you get pop, fade, pop, fade, pop, fade. Friday was just the most extreme example of that through that 375. So if you're looking for the same thing, I mean, it flat bottom. It's not really a flat bottom break today because it broke the lows on Friday. But as long as you're underneath the prior close, pop and fade on Tesla. I look at the pre-market high. The close is 361.62, but that 65 is kind of the resistance. So I like 63 to 65 for a zone. I don't want to have like a number in mind for reverting Tesla when it's kind of been more about allow it to make the reversion. You know, like stair step it up, and once it breaks trend, just look for the continuation short. It gave you VWAP after the fact. Like once it broke trend, it was pretty clear. So at the open, I'm looking for it to pop, break the trend, and then go short on TSLA.
Okay. China strength continuing here. Yeah. We talked about this going back to Friday morning about this time, but it was basically a sideways day. I mean, we did get a little bit of continuation, but sold off sharply into the close for most of these, 4.3% here ahead of earnings to come still for Alibaba.
Yeah, from what I'm seeing, they're scheduled to report February 20th before the bell. So there are still some earnings on watch, of course, here. And this comes at a really great time for not only just Chinese stocks, but specifically Chinese tech stocks. We had Hang Seng Index close up 1.84%. Then we had, compared to the CSI Index, which only closed up about 0.2%. Alibaba finished almost 6% to the upside, and they're up pretty significantly on the year as well. So BABA, with that Quen announcement with regards to its AI, certainly going to be on watch here as well, especially ahead of those earnings.
Yeah, I mean, all of these looking very similar. Here's JD as well, huge gap above 4150 all the way up here this morning. Not a heck of a lot of volume behind these guys, but huge gaps.
Gap, huh?
Yeah, Chinese stocks gapping? No.
China.
They never gap around. I mean, if you pull up a 15-minute chart of the Chinese ADRs, and you're gapping pretty much almost every single day. So it is normal. But like, I loved what happened on Friday, just because it gave you like support right at prior resistance, which is generally what you're looking for. But that was only good off the open, and then it just fell right back in. So it's easy to say 103.5 looks good, but you got to look forward. And 107 on Alibaba anyways. On Alibaba, 107 top, that's the prior high. And it's been doing this pattern before where it puts in a high and that becomes the support level. And you do it, sometimes it works. Here, not so great. Here, never tested. This top did get tested and held, so I'm looking for that at 107. If it's underneath and not bouncing off the 107 level, then I'm not fighting a Chinese ADR, or especially Alibaba, at the open. It needs to bounce or hold above that level to look for the continuation long. Otherwise, you know, just shift on to something else. There's always plenty of other things to trade, like a firm day two play on earnings. We'll have Nvidia, Tesla as well. Big bears also moving around. So there's plenty to look at if BABA doesn't hold this 107, but pull back in a prior high. That's what I'm playing.
Yeah, I've been looking at FXI for a while here. I mean, it's going to be up pretty decently today, up 2.5%. So it may be. getting close to, I was going to say a short, because you're into this level right here again, where we've topped out numerous times on China. I mean, you can go all the way back to October, right there, where you had that huge move up, and you've seen Alibaba. That's where we actually wind up selling Alibaba up there at 117. I just hope it gets back there so we can do it again. But for right now, this high is a little worrisome to me. I would love to break it. I just, again, with sort of the uncertainties in what's happening politically right now, especially with the tariffs in China, I think that's the smart thing to do, especially if you've played this long. We talked about it at the beginning of the year as a theme heading into this year. It was, what about long China? Because everyone was thinking the opposite way. And it's really helped. I mean, this 200 period moving average has been a great look. And if you're able to dip by that into 28, 29, literally at the beginning of the year right there, then you've had a nice little rip. And I think that's probably worth taking as Lunar New Year, all that. We're back now last week there in China. So you can already see it pulling back. Just for a longer term play, if you did get back into here in the next couple of days, I think it's worth a buy though. So I would be shorting up here at 34 if you've taken the profit. But as Michael highlighted at the beginning of the show, it's going to be opportunities to dip buy names and then get them back to the upside. So as long as you're somewhat positive on China, I think you take the opportunity here to sort of build a position against the 50 period moving average, and then eventually this 200 period. Because if things turn around in China, we know we can get way higher than where we are right now. So and it wasn't even that long ago. Like, we were up at $38. This is what, this time last year? No, not even. October of 24, as we just mentioned, we were all the way up there. And if you go over to a weekly chart for China, obviously during COVID and everything, we did have some ups and downs, but there it is all the way at 2021, that peak of $54, then all the way back in, and it held pretty good. So yeah, I don't mind this to try to get some sort of value back there to the upside. If you're, maybe if you're underweight China, look at FXI instead of individual names, as the NASDAQ approaching all-time highs and the S&P 500 also up there as well. So, all right, 9:16. Here goes, I didn't look at Google yet today. Let's have a look, but throw it back over to the desk and hear what they're talking about.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things where context is key. If you zoom out a little bit on Alphabet's chart, yes, it is up better part of a full percent here today, but still hasn't recovered from that earnings move. 190 held for 3 days in a row here. We gave that up pretty quick out of the gate on Friday. So yes, we are up here this morning, but it might just be a bounce.
Yeah, we also had an analyst note here I was seeing circulate a little bit. This is actually back from Wednesday, February 5th, but it is from Bank of America. Basically, they reiterated the stock as a buy, $225 price target, and they actually found the earnings report to be quote unquote solid. And they said that basically these motivated by search growth is really what's worth noting here, the growth in search. And they basically said that the Wall Street could potentially be underestimating their revenue potential with regards to AI. So Google here with search and AI, one thing they're very well known for, and another thing they're trying to be better known for, certainly on watch there. Yeah,
on a daily chart, this thing made quite the move in 2 days, above 205, 206, right through to 185. If you're trying to cherry pick something maybe early on Friday, I mean, there's levels down there, guys, 182, 183, but that candle from Friday, not looking good.
Yeah, Google was bad on Friday, but at least it made a temporary bottom. Like, that's the good news. I don't know, look, the daily chart, you're under that 50 period. So even with a bounce up, like that prior support at 188 is where I'd be more concerned with, that to the 50 period. If you can clear that back out, great. I think you start looking for the relief long if we break back above. Until then, I think Alphabet's got it's got to prove something. It's sideways here, even with the gap up. So not a gigantic fan. Not when you see, you see Nvidia moving around, it looks pretty strong. Obviously, we talked about Tesla already. The name in the Mag 7 that I probably want to highlight as well is Apple. And there's a 233 seller. I think it's as clear as day. We saw it Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Actually, it was all week. It was Tuesday as well. Like every day except for Monday last week when it traded nowhere near 233, somebody's selling up there. So in a strong market right now, we're up 0.8%. Apple gets to 233, looking short off that high. Technically, the top on Friday was like 34s, and then the day before it's like 33.8 or something like that. But once it gets to that 33, looking for the mean revert short. Google don't really have an obvious level on, but Apple, if it gets there, hey, it's a seller till there isn't.
Yeah, no, I wanted to mention Google, but I wasn't really prepared to do it right now, but 1% up, a good move. I was just looking at it. If that's Morgan Stanley, so obviously we've seen them do this before. This just means they're hella long. There, so they'll come out. What they probably did, you could probably look. Day of the report, they probably said it was really bad, and then now that it comes down in, they'll revert that and say that now they like the stock because it's pulled back in 10%. This is how the market works. Get used to it. I think that's a good long. We'll see if the market wants to hold it though. But at least now we know that we have the backing. Oh, B of A, sorry. At least we know that we have the backing of a bank down here that seems to like it. So that's good. I don't think the report was that great, as cloud still remains an issue. We saw Amazon got hit now. We saw Microsoft and Google. But hey, man, if the other parts of the business are working, I like the stock. It's a big piece of my portfolio. So yeah, I like it. I was looking at this 188 break. They're long, but you know the breakouts haven't been great. So that's my hesitancy. What time is it? 9:20? Yeah, so I'm not going to put that order in right now. We got up there pretty close, 187, at 187.25. I think it's worth looking at, but I'm not sure for how long. So yeah, let's keep it on the back burner. It's not on the front of my vision there. We did have, you already talked about SMCI and things like that. There are some different names, and then now we have Monday.com to look at. Oh, and then just because we only have 10 minutes with one story left, this MNTS Momentus, what's up, Tisha? You're asking me if I'm trading it with a lot of shares. No, but I do have a much bigger order down here at 415. And again, just looking at what we've been talking about, I'm trying to see if we hold. Basically, this 380 from Friday. So that's the area that I'm looking at. No volume. You can see it was doing nothing there on Friday. It fell down. It wasn't a great day, that's for sure, but pretty choppy. So I just want to see if it does come back in and we give everything back on what should be a good story there with Department of Defense. So I like it. My stop right now is a break of 380. So it's that simple. It's not 375. It's not anything like that. If the stop gets run and we wind up getting taken out down there, then so be it. And then I'm also trying to buy the 50 period, which is now at 4.25. But I'm down there at low fours. So we'll wait to see if that does come in right off the open. And then the Uber play. The Uber play is flat right now. I mean, the spread is 15 cents, so that's going to be, or 14 cents. That's going to be a little bit of a problem. It's not really moving. We got taken in on this one. It is on the sticky note, and I'm going to throw it back to Brendo in a sec. But it's Lyft took off like this, and all of a sudden, and I don't normally do this, but I didn't think Uber was going to fill when we were down here at 75.50 and stuff. So I put that in so I didn't miss it off the open, but then whoops, it went upside. So right now we're roughly flat on it. We're only holding 40%. So, and I do like people still talking about Big Bear. Big Bear is the #1 trade idea for myself today. I want to make sure we're watching it. And we actually wrote down here on the sticky note, Big Bear AI, we like $9. We wrote this down at 9.30, and you could see right there on Big Bear AI, we actually held $9 twice now. So this has been a good long if you've been able to get it. It only went down, though, to 9.11. I shouldn't say that. 9.12.
That's fine.
I know. Well, it's just a price, but I hate those. But anyways, okay, so just came in there to shallow nines at the end of the day. But all right, that's what we're doing right now on Big Bear AI and MNTS.
All right, MNDY, monster move here, 26% for 300 and what was it? $300 stock, we'll call it. 250 before the report. A very AI heavy, let's just put it that way, earnings report here for Monday.com this morning. Barely a downtick. I mean, there's not a lot of volume behind this, but huge for MNDY.
And it's worth noting, too, here, they did beat on earnings, but the guidance a little bit mixed, actually. So for earnings here, Q4 2024 adjusted earnings of $1.08 per share versus 79 cents expected. So quite the beat there. They also beat on sales, $267.97 million. Versus 261.36 million expected. However, their revenue guide for Q1, the lower end, did miss estimates here. Their fiscal 2025 revenue outlook basically in line with estimates. So a little bit more sluggish potentially on guidance, but not an out-and-out miss. And of course, they did have pretty strong earnings for this quarter.
Yeah, looking to sum it up, looking to capitalize further on the implementation of AI in specific products for Fortune 500 companies. So one of those angles where it's not necessarily the chip or the semiconductor or the company making the actual AI product, but the implementation side for MNDY.
Yeah, and they like it. Look, Monday has a dollar spread right now, and even even outside of that spread, it's not as if there's a lot of liquidity on the stock. So it's going to be a mover. There's no question about it. And we talk about this as, when you want stocks going into new price areas, obviously Monday's going to be doing that. It's at a local high that was rejected pretty heavily earlier. So I generally don't like a setup like this where you dumped off this price just going back to November, like this 325 all the way into like 340. So you're in a pretty big danger zone. At the open, you really need to see it hold the bid. So it's not going to be at the top of my list. It's not a lot of volume, not a lot of liquidity. I'm sure you set this one up where if you're able to hold for a couple of days, give it the old 2-3 day rule. And if it's holding higher bids, then maybe look for the breakout. And then you could have some kind of a swing on strength for Monday. Obviously a big time mover, no questions asked, but there's so much doing volume today. I think you got your pick. I'm also liking Big Bear as well. And sometimes, like we said before, pull back into prior resistance levels. You have the lower high at 9. You have the top here at the 920, 925-ish. I think that can be a dip buy zone. If it can't hold that, I think you got to look out for sure on Big Bear. Ooh, Tesla already, it's 925. Tesla already pressing lower. Imbalances obviously just came out. I don't know if there was a sell imbalance on Nvidia has a sell imbalance of 950,000. Big Bear, oddly enough, with a 1.1 million buy imbalance on Big Bear Eye. And there is Tesla, 600,000 sell. Just saw it drop a couple of dollars. It's likely going to be an imbalance in that case. SMCI with a buy imbalance of 200,000 shares. They're supposed to report their numbers tomorrow after market. They are trading up 5 points. Like them for a bit of a pull back as well. And what is AMD doing? Already falling is what AMD is doing because that's what it does. Still, look, I still like the pop and fade into prior resistance on AMD. It's the pop part that AMD doesn't always want to give you. That's the tricky thing.
Yeah, we do have, so we're still going to watch MNTS. We're still watching Big Bear. We have already talked about those plays. We'll wait to see if they come in. Watching out for Nvidia, watching out for Palantir. Palantir's still up 1.26%, but look what the market's doing. I'm not worried about it. It's just, it is coming back in. We probably will have to test VWAP to see if we hold, and VWAP sort of coincides with some of these pre-market lows of 21,725. So I'm excited to see if that does hold. Feel like we could get some dip buy opportunities, and nothing wrong with dip buying some Palantir. The only thing is that it's not really on my radar early. I don't like this move there into the close. It's just down $3 like that. Seems to have been a little bit too much there into the close on Friday. So I could see some sellers coming back into Palantir. The one name that we saw take off was Nvidia when the market wasn't, when the market wasn't taking off really. I'm gonna have to fix this data editor here. But yeah, so I would try to go long on this name. Just fixing the candle there. You had to push OK. I try to go long in this name again. I don't have bids at these levels, but 130 could hold. It's only 50 cents away. So normally we're on that 200 period moving average. Look at the market trying to bounce a little bit. We still have 3 minutes. I mean, we're not anywhere near a panic. I don't have bids yet on Nvidia. I feel like this is a good way to start so I don't get caught up in it. Maybe early at 129, like very light amount of shares just to see how it reacts down there. Then if we still come down in like a falling knife, we'll sit here with size, and that way maybe get picked up down by 128. So that's kind of what I'm doing right now. Uber, I still like the 77 long. I mean, again, it's on here. We only have a couple ideas on here, 4 or 5 ideas on the sticky note. One of them is Uber right here. So I like it. I do have offers in the 40s and then the 30s for this, and then lower at 76. So yeah, I like all of these names, man.
I like that
Uber.
idea.
Uber's $77. Randy, we were just talking about being long this name at 67, now 77. So that's starting to work out for us as well. But here we go. Only 2 minutes left. I like the Tesla short that's still underneath. I priced out a RIVN on the weekend, 130 something thousand Canadian for a RIVN base model. So this one right here still up, nice, 1.2%. We'll see if it can hold out there. I mean, I probably have to put down 1 million shares and make that money, but we'll see what winds up happening. 1 million shares, $1 million worth. You put down $1 million, right, Randy? I mean, we all have that, just chump change, no problem. You put that down, you make, that $1 on it would be really nice. You make your 10% on $1 million, then you can buy that RIVN. So $12 up to 14 RIVNs for my wife, but I am not doing that because nor do I have $1 million to put into RIVN. So,
Or would you want to?
yeah. My $1 million in MNTS. So we'll wait to see what happens. All right, with only auto show. When is that?
It's this week.
This weekend.
This
Okay,
weekend.
nice. So we'll see if there's anything there. You were disappointed last year. Yeah, I remember. So we'll see.
Yeah, I remember you saying it wasn't
hopefully
that
you'll
great.
get some good.
Hopefully it'll be better this year.
Some good insights.
The long weekend.
Let us know. Take some pictures and let us know how that happens. That's right. It is a long.
It's a long weekend. It's
it's Family Day.
Family
here.
Day and President's Day in the U.S. And hopefully they'll move the Super Bowl to then. Just a note on that Lyft news. Mobileye is up. It's Mobileye Lyft news. Mobileye up 15% as well. But Nvidia is already pulling back as Super Bowl hangover Monday. It's not really a hangover because I'm sure a lot of people didn't even stay up for the whole game. Coming back in, Nvidia looking like it wants to pull back. It's already at VWAP. But Adara, let's ring that bell in 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's go.
All right. Thanks, Adara. Okay, we're going to just still wait. Uber's trying to figure itself out. It has not opened yet. It is printing 77.20. We'll see what happens with that. All right, here it goes. We do have some more offers on Uber, so it's now open. Let's see if it gets going to the upside. I'm waiting at 78.40, and then we're only at 77, so there's still ways to go to the upside here as well. 77.80s, low 76s. Let's see if Uber wants to work out for us or not. MNTS, there's Big Bear, so just FYI on that one. It breaks it comes into $9. This is the kind of level that we did not mind at all. So we're going to wait to see if Big Bear now wants to go back there to the upside. Notice that bottom, 890. I was only going to give it to this bottom here of 880. So we talked about that. 875 break low on Big Bear and we're out.
Yeah, be careful. Oh, give me a break. Yeah, be careful with Big Bear. But here comes Nvidia already bouncing off VWAP. We're going to stick a fork in that pre-market low for now and have to look at VWAP. Tesla already to the downside. Oh, wow. Tesla already looking very, very weak. And AMD, which we liked a pop and fade on, well, it's popping. AMD with the pop. Friday high was 110. So if it gets into that 110, that is the first look for me there. But Nvidia already gone through 141 or 131, looking like it doesn't want to give us that dip.
Nope. Yeah, we put our bids out there for Nvidia. We are in the low 129s.
Right, Big Bear's New York.
Yeah, we've got Big Bear. So the thing about it, okay, so we've got Big Bear, but we just got in again at 999, out some there at 930. Still not great. We'll wait to see what happens there with BBAI. It's a 10-cent winner right now for sure if you wanted it. But there goes Uber right now. It is your money trade of the day, Uber. Well, so far it's Big Bear, but hopefully Uber can get going as well. Almost $1 in the money now on that one. And then there goes Big Bear again, trying to break through 930. I'll put an offer at 929. There it is. We'll take another piece out there on Big Bear AI as it continues to go. Neil, we're 3 for 3 right now. The party's just getting started over here. MNTS now trying to go through 5. Let's see if that gets going as well. So MNTS, Big Bear, and Uber. Oh boy, as we go. So things starting to work out for us a little bit here. Out of more Uber at the upside near 78. Here goes Big Bear finally up to 945. Oh yeah, we've got it, everybody. So hopefully you guys are liking the show. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. Not only trading mega cap names, but going through and giving you our #1 play. I mean, Neil, where else are you going to get this? I don't know if you put down a price target on your note for Big Bear or not, but that is the #1 trade idea on the sticky note is Big Bear AI. So Joe, there it is, man. If anybody's looking to make a little bit of money, there's Big Bear AI, 60 cents straight to the upside off that posted level. So far so good on BBAI.
Yeah, great look on BBAI. Big Bear is making a power move to the upside. We just got finally into Nvidia as it pulled right back. Let me fix that for you guys. Pulled right back in a prior high at 131, so we're going to work off that for Nvidia. Tesla, by the way, looking very different from the open. Massive wick bottom there on Tesla as it's trying a reversal. So they just ran through 55 and are headed back into the upside on Tesla. I said I liked AMD short. Well, AMD is almost at that 109 level. It's starting to cruise. We're still looking for that reversion at the 110. But Nvidia is the first for us here. Ooh, just popped. It was just at 132. Let's go to, we're going to Adara.
Go Nvidia, go.
Couple names to watch out for here. X, US Steel getting a nice pop with volume here off the open. In case you missed it, this name is also on watch with regards to whether or not Donald Trump will allow its acquisition by Nippon Steel of Japan to go through. That was discussed a lot during Trump's press conference on Friday. But also here, we have Shopify on watch as well. this one, SHOP. They do have earnings before the bell coming through tomorrow morning, and they also got an upgrade from benchmark. So the other thing with ex-US Steel to be aware of is the fact that Trump is apparently planning on putting 25% tariffs on steel and aluminum. So keep an eye on X. Back to you.
Right. Thanks, Dara. So you're going to see, so we have a different big bear price because it actually broke through the pre-market high. So we did take some more up there. It's going to be hard to see because we've been getting out there right there. So that was just an early take. You know, obviously our dip buys down here, we've sort of been cashing out of those because you're going to take like 40, 50 cents in 1 minute or so on a big bear. You know, as we talked, I think that's worth it. But that's why you're going to see my price right now at 947. So, you know, that's just the price that I have. And unfortunately, we did take that long break through the pre-market high of 960. So that's where we're stuck right now. This could still be a loser because we did take that trade. Naturally, I'd rather be sitting without that, but I'm fine. I'd be looking to add to this position anyways on a break. So we're just in it earlier than maybe we need to be. Uber does go. We got more out here at 50s. I'm fine with this, but again, was hoping for a little bit more of a move. So let's wait on Uber. Our Tesla, we're not in. You're long Nvidia. I mean, I love
Tesla's tanking.
Is it? I mean, that was, again, we had Tesla written down as a short, and I kind of apologized for that.
Oh my goodness.
But at the end of the day, there was a short there for sure at the 50 period, but there it goes downside. So see you later on Tesla. What's going on over there?
Well, I tried getting Tesla back through VWAP at 357. It's gone to the downside. I'm not going to chase a move, but we're going to short the next available pop here on Tesla as it just broke 55 and went $2 very, very quickly there on Tesla. Yeah. Nvidia just broke back through 132. That wick, yeah, it got a bad wick on Nvidia, so it hasn't been to 134. These are all fresh highs here today on Nvidia. It's filling in a bit of a gap over yesterday's highs or Friday's highs. We're going to buy dips back into 131, and if that fails, we're going to buy dips into VWAP. And if that fails, then I wait for 128. Nvidia just want to be in the long side of the trade. So as I said with Tesla, yeah, it's just going to have to be a little bit patient with it. It kind of lost a bid really quickly there. 350 incoming. If it can bounce off 350, maybe we get an opportunity for a bit of a fade. So Nvidia just went to 132.70.
Oh, yeah.
And I heard, was that, no.
I heard the name Intel. Intel's taking off.
Intel also taking off to the upside. So Intel looking pretty strong. The chips are strong.
Yes, go
But
chips.
Tesla long is wrong.
Yeah, it is. But go chips. I mean, we love that great trade on Nvidia. I mean, we were looking for it. Unfortunately, we wrote down 128 and change, but there it goes. It only goes down to the 200, which we normally are all about that. But no, nice pre-market break there. I mean, you're even way late on that, and it's ripping. So great trade there on Nvidia. As you got to stick with the long names, that is for sure. All right, so not much else happening. We did get a nice trade up there for Google. Just to check in on MNTS. We got some more outs up here at near the highs. We're long at 493. So there's an out there at 520. There's another out at 5. So hopefully we can get going. But again, on that Department of Justice, Defense deal there. Crazy. Not really doing much, but if you're in this name and you want to take like that 10 or 15%, maybe you can take it like I've been doing. But at the end of the day, doesn't look like it wants to go. And by 10%, that's the max. Like we're long at 490 in average. That best price is 520. So it's only 30 cents off $5. It's not like a monstrous trade there or anything like that. All right, so whoopsies. Whoa. Oh, I'm still on the ellipse. Okay, let's get off of that. All right, so now Big Bear. Okay, well, it came right back into this area. I'm at 905, I thought. All right, we'll probably buy a little bit more there. We'll wait to see if we get it just ahead of $9.
Oh, yeah.
Big Bear, 905. Yeah. Okay, so it's a good thing we stepped over there and bought it. This is, again, what I'm talking about. If you're not... Specifically, there goes MNTS. Yes, MNTS. All right, so here goes the big play right now. Bang, bang, bang. For MNTS, let's see if this one wants to go. But you see what I'm saying? Like, if I'm not over here putting offers at these levels, then you're unable to get it. And then look at Big Bear as well. Like, I was at 05, didn't even realize that we were right back down there again. So thankfully, we're able to look at it. It's a nice positive day for us here today so far, but still looking for more as Uber is right there. I know Neil's, I think, is close enough to that dollar club, if not already. But here goes Uber right now. That is your first dollar club for me. It's not another one. It's a first one. Let's go over and see. Be quiet, DJ. Let's go over there and see what's up now with Adara.
Teladoc here sharply to the upside. TDOC, no news on this one today, but they do have about a 13.5% short float. In case you missed it, this name was actually on watch last week after Citron Research posted favorably about the name, saying that they see it as a good opportunity for a buy. So TDOC continuing here with that strength right now here, actually near $14.50, guys. Back to you.
All right.
Even Teladoc looking pretty strong every now and then. It's that kind of market. The Nasdaq's not doing a heck of a lot. Like, we're actually flat, but I blame a couple of tickers in there. So Nvidia is pressing a very steep trend. If it dips, I'm already sitting back at VWAP, but 132 as an even had a rather large size offer. So if we do break this trend, I'll be out underneath the 33 level. So 133.40. If we pull back under there, looking for the out and then the buy the dip. Again, Tesla is right back into the lows. It's like this stock, Tesla doesn't want to let you into the short.
Holy shit.
It's just continuing to flush. So there hasn't been much of a bounce to be able to play over there in Tesla. And I did forget Alibaba. Baba pulls right back into prior high at 107. If it can hold VWAP, we're taking the stairs up on Alibaba today. So looking for the pullback into VWAP because we missed our 107 at the open, looking to get over into Nvidia, which clearly is working, but we like Baba as well.
Yeah, what a comfortable day over here. All right, so we're just, Uber is an absolute monster. So Uber, the beast, has awoken, finally. You know, we were a little nervous about our position, and then Bill comes in and just saves the day. So not really. I mean, it was already moving up, but nice move there by Bill Ackman and company as Pershing Square gets involved, and there goes Uber. And again, we only have 4 ideas on here. Obviously, the Big Bear AI $9 long. That went from 9 to 960 on that. Nvidia long, Neil's got that, so that's great. The Tesla short was there, and then the Uber long. So the only other trade that popped into our blotter real quick was MNTS, and oh boy, has that one been nice? Yes, it has. We'll wait to see where it goes, though, on that one. Dollar on Uber. Okay, so just for Big Bear. So it went up there. We were able to buy a little bit. We did get some out at 940 again. Remember, these dip buys is really what we like. It did take out the top. I'm fine with taking that. I always want to take out pre-market highs, especially on names I think can go. But at the end of the day, it's still not going. It is coming back in. I do have another reload at 9. We talked about like 905, sort of where we got that first fill. I'm going to wait to see if that comes in. If it does not, then I am puff passing on that one, and we'll just wait. If it does break this 880 level, which is right here, then we'll get out. So we had sort of talked about that. I just want to make sure that that is where my stop is. Yes, it is. And then MNTS, we're getting lighter and lighter on this. We had talked about if we were able to take that 10 or 15 or 20% on this name, we would probably do that. So I'm going to put my stop now, breaking right through here. So 450 on MNTS. I'm going to cancel all my other bids on this. And then, because I was bidding $4 on this name, but now if we get there, that's a problem. So 450 break, we're out. So watch, 444. We'll just use that. We'll put offer out of 100% of it if it goes back in there right now. And that's very, very possible. The market's pretty flat. I mean, you got a great one there in Nvidia. But other than that, I mean, Uber is $1. This MNTS is good. And then here comes Big Bear right back in now to 905. So now we get our final spot there. We talked about where our stop is. Just got to make sure it's there. So it's there. And unfortunately, what was a great stock to begin with, it's still fine. The problem was really taking out that pre-market high, and we had talked about, although it worked great on Nvidia, some of the breaks.
Yeah, the breaks aren't the same as they used to be.
They're just
different market.
Yeah, because the market's just
not doing anything.
Yeah, like Michael Knott said, it was like volatile, but not. Or I forget the term he used, but it's like it feels like that, where you look back and like the market's just still doing nothing. But, now Bullfrog AI is going.
Oh, you gotta be kidding
me.
me.
No, we went from one animal to another. So B-Frog, I think is what it is, right?
I thought it was just frog.
F-R. Oh, is it just frog?
No,
Okay.
never mind. It's not. Frog.
B-Frog. I think
just one quick thing here. There was a reversal at 134 on Nvidia, but no VWAP retrace. So there's your topping tail candle, and then me looking for the dip back into 132 if we're able to get it. Still like the long. I don't necessarily want to take a 134 breakout on this yet. And Alibaba, just quickly there, does not hold on to VWAP. So if it doesn't hold VWAP, then we wait for the 107 level. Big Bear is going to, all right, now Big Bear, reversion, bottoming tail wick here. So I didn't get it off the open. It was a crazy wick as well. But if it's going to do a bottoming tail off the pre-market low, let's see it hold at 9. If it breaks a fresh low, I don't want to be in it. But it's a reversion play here on Big Bear AI. Kind of crazy. that frog going
Yeah, it's
as well.
bullfrog.
Oh, and by the way, Tesla is now bouncing for the first time. So I think we have an opportunity, at least now, for Tesla to come into VWAP, but I'm going to get BBAI on a reversion, and then we'll go over to Tesla, show you guys Tesla coming in to VWAP aggressively into VWAP. Yeah, we're not playing around here. Like, it's clearly the bid is a little bit strong into Tesla. Let's see a curl off of VWAP. Let it do that move. The NASDAQ is going really strong here. Still want to get that dip back into Nvidia. Big bear. Oh yeah, okay, that was weird. I got filled before you guys showed it there. I'm like, yeah, I got filled. So we're long at 908 on Big Bear. Makes a fresh low and we're jumping out. Tesla, we want to let it get into VWAP and then take our shot at a curl. It's not the prices that we wanted on Tesla, but if it doesn't go to the 60s, you can't short the 60s.
I'm going to take a 113 break right here on Palantir. So if we can get going there, we're going to try it. I mean, I probably a little bit early, like you've already gone down to 110. We talked about like how crazy this name is, especially off the open. So it did already give you an amazing buy opportunity down there. I mean, all you had to do is zoom back out to see some of the support levels in and around that 110.50 or so spot. So that's going to be something to look out for there on PLTR coming back in. But I just put a bid to see if what happens if we could take that long. It's not there yet. I just wouldn't mind seeing it. Man, you know what? I'm gonna get away from that for now. All right, what's going on with Google? I'm just trying to find some names because the market's going now. It's up 1%. So I want to find some names that potentially have that chance. Google, I thought, was 188. It doesn't appear to be there yet either. Apple as well, to the downside, no. So up decently there for Apple on this move. That could be a break long as well. It's just I look at the market and obviously it's going. So I'm looking at this saying, all right, you know,
Apple
we need
at
to think
33
about
yet?
something. No, Apple's, that's the thing. Nothing's really that great. We did get some more out on Uber up here at 78.50. That's $1.50. I'm not worried. I mean, Big Bear is falling back down in there, but you know, we've already sort of made peace with this name as there it comes right now, coming right back in now. So I'm gonna wait on that one, and then that there Neil's already out of BBAI, so
It just broke the low.
yep. So there it goes, BBAI to that downside, and then BFR. I already told you where my out is. It's not right there. Bullfrog right now. That got a bump, but it looks like we're like late on reporting that one because that bump sort of started early. So there it goes. They actually just topped out when we talked about it. So yeah, for now, everything's fine. MNTS, good outs there. We're getting lighter and lighter. Let's just try to find some more opportunities right now. I got to switch this because this is
Nvidia just broke the high again. So
Booyah.
You're not getting VWAP today. It's like you play a plan of action because you know you see it work on most days on Nvidia off the opening rush. You've been even on the strong days, you've been able to get VWAP, but you can't get VWAP today on Nvidia. Is now you're through 134. We just cancel those if it drops $3. Obviously, you know, something will have changed very distinctly, and we don't want to just jump into it all willy-nilly. So Nvidia looking very strong. Tesla still looking weak. So yeah, you know, there's a price to be paid for patience. As Tesla got into VWAP, it looked for all the world. It was breaking out at 355. This market was strong in the moment. It did a little bit of a curl, tried to get back underneath and hit it as it's coming back into the downside. But, you know, Tesla, obviously, sometimes it just loses the bid. And Tesla looking pretty nasty. Could get to that 350 today. So if we get any shot, the next available pop, we'll try to short over in Tesla. And then the only other stock, what's crazy is I was looking for the pop and fade on AMD. Well, there's 110. So it just double tapped that Friday high at $110 here and looking like a reversion candle. So it's weird. We wanted to short the weak stock, and here we are with Nvidia at the highs, but also AMD at that key 110 level. So I'm going to look for the short here. 110 has yet to actually break. Double top.
So see, it looks like all I had to do was get you out, Neil, because now Big Bear finally goes up, but it's still not making me any money. But we'll take a little piece out here at 914, 915. This is the frustrating thing when you play these names. It's like it can, like we almost got stopped out there, but we picked the bottom pretty much perfectly. It's not that we bought the bottom, it's just we didn't get stopped out, which is kind of fluke at some point, right? I mean, but here it goes now back up to the upside. So we stay patient with Big Bear AI. We talked about the $9 bottom. There it goes. Yes, sir. Okay, this is going to be a game changer for me or a day changer for me, because if it does, well, I don't know if it's going to go, but we're going to take out some more here because it was like it was a little dicey down there, but all right, here we go. So nice little move back up into VWAP, into the 50-period moving average. We do have to get some out, even though this is going to be for a loser right now on Big Bear AI. I'll tell you, we're still in the money on it. Like, so net-wise, it's a positive stock for me today. So that's a name there. MNTS has fallen in right now. You know that this is going to be our stop. It should be right around here, right? Oh no, we switched it. Yeah, we switched it, right, 444. Let's try to buy a little bit as we come in just for this because we've been getting out. We'll double our position down here, but it's going to be like a 2-unit play which would be relatively small. So there's Big Bear. It's a good thing we got some out at VWAP. It's a good thing we got some out at the 50-period moving average. So still staying net positive on this name. But again, if we lose 880, then it's squash city and we're gone. Nvidia, Tesla, Big Bear. So just for Tesla quickly, because we were looking for the short on Tesla, I want this short, and it just touched that 354 again, and we missed it. Neil just talked about it. So we'll see if we can get something short if there's a pop-up in Tesla. But that was a play that we've been looking at, and we should have definitely had a $3 or $4 winner right now on it. So that part kind of sucks. What's up, Adara?
ACHR, this is Archer Aviation. This one made days highs at 960, pulling back a little bit here, but still trading higher with volume. No catalyst for Archer Aviation that I saw, but it is worth noting for this ticker, they have about a 20.4% short float. Lots of retail attention. That is ACHR, guys. Back to you.
Archer Aviation also in the house. That stock is clearly going to the danger zone 100%. AMD does, I lost my trend line. AMD double taps the 110. It's trying to head back into VWAP. Remember, this is a strong stock. So if it breaks VWAP, I'm looking at the afternoon high, which is like 108.30. That's where it broke out from. That would be a good target for AMD. Up 1.7%. Wow. AMD actually having a good day. Nvidia still blowing it out to the upside. Hasn't really done too big of a secondary pullback. This is the candle that we look for some kind of a higher low to be able to jump back into NVDA. Tesla still holding that 350 level. And I see you, Johnny H., Lindsay in the chat, both mentioning our good friend SMR. We're just talking about mean reversion trades and SMR with another one. I'm going to make the assumption Oklo's probably going as well, but SMR has something distinctly different, which is sellers at 27 that are about to get blown out. So I actually like SMR. I didn't think this was going to be a possibility. It was doing absolutely nothing in the middle of this range. Looks like we have a chance to break this out through the high on Friday. Got to add this one to the list. It's like 27.33. I thought it really could have gone on Friday. Didn't happen. Now you have a nice little, it's not a huge gap, but that's not chump change to get back into 28 and then into 30 as well on SMR. AMD short, we're still in. And I did forget a little bit about Affirm, and Affirm did not break out the top. If anything, it actually rejected the high, but holding on to prior support levels. So the breakout on Affirm is still technically in play through 77. This is an earnings continuation. If it can hold these lows, break out 77, it's going to put the order in, actually, so I don't forget.
So just a trade on Uber. We are less than or about 5% left, as we just took some more out right there at 78.20s. So we just noticed that, hey, it's 9:52. I don't do time-based trading or anything like that, but if it's not, you know, like it's kind of gone the move that we were happy with, and then we tried to let some go higher, which it did. 78, like when we're taking $1 there. Remember, we got popped in this real early, so we did take some out there. Basically flat in all of this, then let it go. And then we just start playing like normal, right? 20 cents, 25 cents, 50 cents, 75 cents, $1, $1.40, and then $1.20. So now we're really, really light on Uber. Uber will be your P&L number 1 today, so as it goes. But we're waiting on Big Bear, of course, as we're layered into that one. And then I made an keystroke error, which was funny on Tesla, because we wind up buying there. We bought 351.50s, and I sold it immediately. What I was trying to do was get offers out for when this happened, and we started to rip back up on Tesla. Man, that would have been a $2 mistake right there, a $3 mistake to the upside. But you got to get out, so we're not going to take too much credit for that, but we will take credit for this. So there's the short to start with on Tesla. I'm in it right now. We're going to wait to see what winds up happening right now with Tesla. Short off VWAP. I'm going to watch 356. That 200 period is right there at 358. We're just light on it right now, but I do want to think about getting some more with my eventual out, just making sure I have orders up there. Yeah, in and around this 357.50-ish or so area. So let's try to layer in a little bit in here to Tesla. So starter position right now, we're net positive on the day, so all is well, but we have to wait to see what's going to happen right now as Big Bear trying to go and Tesla trying to figure itself out. I'm waiting for some more shares short right now at 354.75. So we're almost there again. We'll layer it up into 356. Let's see if we can win with this Tesla short.
Just heard a halt stock and was trying to catch the ticker there, but I kind of missed it. I'll check my halt scanner, but there's a name that's halted on potential deal news. So we already mentioned Tesla in and about at VWAP. So if it breaks out that 55, well above it, gonna have to get out. And AMD's also at VWAP. So this would be a simple, if you revert in, I'm going to do a reversion out. If it bounces off of VWAP and breaks the trend, then got to be able to jump out of AMD here. So watching that one very closely. Nvidia is just screaming higher at this point, so it's still looking very, very strong on NVDA. It's just a matter of where we're going to be able to catch that dip one more time. So we break this bar, close above on AMD, we're going to jump out of the trade, and Nvidia doesn't seem to want to let us back in. Look at the relative strength. Tesla just lost that 355 level.
Oh, Nvidia.
So I need it back underneath that 55 or coming back under VWAP or doing a mean reversion to jump back in. But we can't seem to get back into Nvidia at all.
I mean, I know Ramin, I believe, had dip bought some Nvidia on that recent move down, and we're lucky enough to have done the same thing. And I mean, we said this is the only play. We're down here. We're long at like 118 on that DeepSeek. We actually bought it. I think it was the close of that day. So wherever that closes around 118. So it was in the later part of the day. That's all, because we don't trade it. Well, actually would have been during the later part of lunch hour. So whatever it was at that day, I just added to the position. It's not like it's screaming up here. It's just, it's now had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 straight up days trying, or 7, and now trying to take out the 50 period moving average. Again, good name, down by the 200 period moving average. Always something to look out for there with Nvidia into those levels. So we'll wait again. I don't think you're out of the clear. Like if buying this and getting now that $20 bump, or a little bit less than that, I guess $15 if you're long at 120, that is still like 8.5% or so in a week on Nvidia. So that is like a great return. You may want to look at it if it's something. All right, so now we're short at 355. Wow, that worked out pretty good. So right now we're short 355 here on Tesla. We initially liked the short at 366, but the market did not do what we thought it would early. It went down, then came back up into the 50 period. So that's where we're short right now. And looks like we got it on now to that downside. MNTS with a nice move up. We'll see if we can capture. I'm going to just punch them out now because we've got more problems with Tesla. This is our biggest position right now. Just from the show, this will be my biggest one notionally because it's a $350 stock. But we're just chilling. We're just going to, we play all the stocks the same, right? I mean, it's just hopefully we're able to catch some profits. Like that just dipped down in $1.50 for us. So let's put a bid down there at 354.
It held 40s pretty well.
Yeah,
354.60 or so. Therefore, Tesla. Neil joins in on this trade. So good job as we were both looking for this one here on Tesla.
Yeah, I like VWAP. As long as it's a weak stock, I like VWAP, but it seems to want to hold that bid pretty well here. Nvidia, look, Nvidia is going to be a difficult one to ignore, but it's starting to slow down, at least in terms of volatility a bit. And I'm watching over here, like AMD starting to lose the bid a bit. I was also checking out it's weird to say, but like Intel's up 3%. This is really just as strong as Nvidia. Look at the charts. They're pretty much identical. So if you do see, like if I see Nvidia falter, there is a setup here for Intel as well for a little bit of a reversion trade. But obviously Tesla looking a little bit stronger this time through. I'm bidding 54 and 53, but Tesla looks like it wants to take out that 56 level. So as good as the shorts were, if you had them on Friday, it's gonna, if it presses through 56, that's too far above VWAP to not wait for the highs, which would be at 58 to 60, maybe even that 59 level. And just one more for you, because I'm still looking over here at a firm. It's right back up into the top, now double topping at $76. I'm not at the point yet where I want to take the 76 break, but I'm getting there. Like if you just keep on putting higher lows, that's a pretty big rejection candle setting you up for a break. 77 is the actual high break on a firm. I know I'm taking that one, but I'm starting to get close to wanting this 77 break. So I like that. I like continuation plays on earnings, and you're certainly getting one here for now, at least, on Affirm.
All right, we're cooking it up. Come on, Tesla. Let's see if we can get some downside plays again. So we just put some bids down there, 354. So we did grab that. So that looks like it'll be a decent trade for us down there on Tesla. But it's coming back up just a little bit here again. So I don't mind reloading this right now. We just had 355 60s there. So we'll wait to see if we can get a little bit more. Okay, so now it's coming back up. That's fine. This is what we kind of want to do. We talked about that. Let's play the names that we want to play and just try to play them properly by reloading, taking profits when profits are there. We still are waiting. Okay, I'm just trying to layer in. The strategy now for me on Tesla is just to try to take as many good fills as possible, and then if it winds up sort of blasting us higher, then that's what will wind up happening, and we will get stopped out. So we'll wait for this. More highs out there right now. We are green on Tesla, obviously position pending, but for right now, here it goes right back there to the upside. We just took profits right there, so we actually got a great short at 356, 355.80, and then there's the cover down there for about $1.20 or so, but. Yeah, I want to be in this name. So let's just see if it can hold. The problem here is the futures just continue to rip higher and higher and higher.
Before we go to Adair, just a quick second. We just held VWAP on AMD. I said trend in, trend out. Well, it just broke trend, wicked me out on a bounce off of VWAP. Now you're actually heading lower on AMD, and in addition to that, LMND lemonade, that cool, refreshing drink, with a little bit of a volume spike. Just heard that one in the ear. It's a squeeze name. It's at an almost significant level. Only reason I mention it is if it actually picks up volume, 40 is kind of a big level for that stock. So Tesla's dancing around that 55 over and over again. Nvidia is still holding higher lows, so we're patient with the re-entry there, and we're out of the AMD short at VWAP and going to Adair at the desk.
What we're going to do is take a look at the market so far today. S&P 500 up about 0.5%. NASDAQ faring a little better here, up almost 1% so far today. We've had some bad Mondays to start the week over the last couple of weeks, but now nice push to the upside. We have tariff news to digest. Donald Trump apparently weighing 25% tariffs on imports for U.S. steel and aluminum. So keep an eye on X for U.S. steel. With that in mind, we also actually had some pre-market earnings. McDonald's here, MCD, actually reporting in-line earnings per share and missing on their sales estimates, but stronger than expected Q4 global comparable sales despite a larger than expected drop in the U.S. Then we had Monday.com here. They did beat on earnings per share and sales. Guidance was a bit tepid, but either way, investors certainly are not because this is up about 25% so far in the day. And last but not least, TSLA, Tesla, on watch here. This one pushing lower, trying to recover as of right now, basically getting some cautious analyst notes from both Stifel and Needham. We also, in the Meg 7 sphere, have Meta on watch. This ticker is set to go 16 straight days to the upside if it can hold any upside trajectory for today, guys. Back to you.
That's insane. 16 straight. It's the quietest rally that I've seen in a while.
For which stock was that?
Meta.
Oh, Meta, yeah.
It's just like there's very few days on Meta that are completely out of control to the upside, yet it somehow finds a way to close green every single day. So is what it is. I'll slap the old fail on Tesla. I like Tesla. Well, it was obviously it's been short for a few days now, but we liked it a lot and it's no good. We'll call it one Palantir to the downside right now. And I only say Palantir because this is starting to jazz up a little bit here. So they just got higher lows. This is exactly what Affirm is looking like, Palantir's. Big, massive rejection candle to the downside, hold a higher low, looking like it's trying to break out the top. I don't know which is going to do it first. Firm kind of pulling the same thing, still hasn't broken that 76, so we're still waiting around on that. Nvidia looks like it might challenge here for VWAP for the first time today. So pulling back into VWAP potentially is Nvidia. It gave you that first initial breakout. Since then, it's kind of hanging around those highs. Mario Rodriguez, GME, and I see a couple of people in the chat mentioning GME. There was a little bit of a story, because I guess it was like a picture with Saylor and Ryan Cohen that had this gapping up, and maybe this move is related. So GME is actually up 7% right now, worth acknowledging. But yeah, it doesn't look like it's going that meme crazy. But there was, I guess it's kind of a story.
Yeah. Thank you so much there to Tisha on MNTS, but we did just lose on Big Bear. So MNTS going this way. We've taken some more out, but Big Bear AI downside move there. So we'll be red. We're actually going to be red. I'm red on the day. So you know, that's what it is. We're waiting for Tesla to do something. I mean, we're barely. It's just if. You know, holding this one against myself right now. I know Neil stopped out there for Tesla. I know it's been a rough day today. So we'll just wait. I mean, it hasn't been. It's just like this Uber trade has been huge and it just goes right back up to the top. I just wish that Big Bear had worked out because we were waiting for it to happen. We were able to get some out. We just took one more play there at 890. Then it finally breaks. I'm going to go again if we break right here, 885. So I just want to try one more time that maybe we got taken out at the bottom and then we'll use that 870. This is just like one of those like bake and takes again. So it got baked to the downside. Now we'll see it. There it goes. So now we're back into this name. I'm just going to use this bottom, and if it takes it again, then we are out of Big Bears. Give it one more chance. 865 there to the bottom. So we can make it all back. It's just a matter of needs to go. Like I don't know. So all right, so not a bad play there. We were able to get some out there on Tesla, but we did not take that opportunity. It went down to 356.15s. I wasn't even bidding there. So now we're bidding 356.11s. Hopefully that will come back in and fill us again because right now the market is rolling. Like I was expecting more chop again today, but it looks like we already like right down there, right into VWAP again, and then right back up to highs. So yeah, it's not looking good for the bears because right now it does look like we are starting to take out some levels there to the upside, including that 21,800. So a big level there on the NASDAQ. Looks like, okay, come on.
The bears could use a coaching change.
Yeah, good one there. Just like, but here we go, man. All right, so nice little out there on Tesla. So let's wait to see. Yeah, they got rid of Eberflus, didn't they? All right, so here we go. Nice little move higher now. I'm going to take something out on Big Bear just ahead of 9 if we're able to get it. MNTS is really, Tisha, a company. This one's really starting to blast higher right now. So I think we should take another piece out on MNTS. And then Tesla, we hit the money thing as it goes to the downside, but it's a good out for us. But we only got out at 15% as that continues to go higher. And here comes Intel too. Intel, man, we're now finally back. So there's only two names we bought recently, man. We bought the S&P 500. We talked about that. That's been working out. We bought Intel at 1980, and then we bought Nvidia at 118. So far, so good on some of these reloads. But I don't want to talk too much here about Intel because honestly, I mean, it's a nice move up. Did we get news up? Remember we were out this early, and I was like, I don't want.
I didn't see anything on it. I mean,
all right.
Like we know they don't usually move anymore on Mobileye stuff because they divest that. But Mobileye actually had the bigger move to the upside, which I don't know if we've talked too much about that. There was that Lyft story. That's why Uber got that bounce.
Right.
Affirm, I am into Affirm after it broke the 76 level. It's tracking into, it's a 52-week high. It's not an all-time high. You have to really zoom your chart back out because it did some crazy things in 2020. But it's a 52-week high if it breaks 77. So I have an offer out in front of 77, and then we'll look to hold that through. We talk about these day 2 plays or day 3 plays and then forgot all about one of the bigger ones, which is Roblox. Roblox broke the low. Just going to keep an eye on this. I'm not chasing this move down, but Roblox broke Friday's lows. If this can hold, like if this gets underneath VWAP, I'd look shorts on Roblox. But Affirm, newest position for me. Nvidia's like stopped moving. Yeah, okay, that's great. You give me the offer. Sometimes you get wicked with dark pool. Bit of a thinly traded stock. Going to offer 76.58. We're sitting here to try to catch another leg to the upside on Affirm. And as I mentioned, Nvidia just like it's not doing anything here. We're just holding these higher lows and with a little bit of lower highs as well. So it's kind of like this weird bull flag. It could either break trend and take out the highs, or hopefully give us a shot at VWAP as we're going back to an era.
Big time trade.
Sort of some news here in Intel to contextualize this. Intel significantly up on the day, and I'm not clear if this is the catalyst why, but either way, it's worth noting here. We actually do have Nokia announcing that one of Intel's AI executive heads, specifically of its data centers, is actually leaving Intel to become Nokia's CEO. So INTC losing another executive here. That's the only catalyst I'm seeing on this name. Back to you.
All right, we just had, yeah, thanks, Sarah. Yeah, I mean, whatever. I mean, more news into the name. That's all they need is catalyst. Like, I'm not going to sit here and judge what exactly the catalyst means because obviously the price don't lie. Right there. Okay, let's go. Come on, Tesla. Tesla's going to be my P&L number one, but again, position pending. But we've been getting out. Like, we just reloading these all at the 200. Here it comes. At the 200 period, we have like 5 outs right there. Like, look at this market. It's screaming right now. So we'll probably get stopped out of this name as it goes back up to the upside, 357.50, and we are stopping out. So it'll roughly be a flat trade again. This is what I talk about being disappointing today. Like, things just, I feel like I have the right trade, and then it's just like we're getting out, and then it's just like not doing anything, right? I mean, the MNTS has been a good one, obviously there. Look at that price there, Tisha. 580 right there. So we make, so that's a 460 long to 580. So like that's 25% I don't know what the math is, but that's a good trade right there on that one. And Big Bear, all right, so it does go up a little bit. We're making a little bit back on Big Bear AI. Hopefully it can still go, and we'll do that, but we got out some 95s, then we got out some O's right now on Big Bear. We're back long this name, 87s. This whole gift horse thing seems pretty obvious to me. We don't want to, if it's going to pop like that, we already had profit on Big Bear AI and we did not take it, so that was not the greatest trade, obviously. And then we'll take another out right there as our diamond hands are getting less and less. We have less than 2% now on Uber as we get that exact fill we wanted. We talked about getting more out at the day's high as we're nervous here for an Uber potential pullback. So yeah, man, still trying to work with this, even though the market's up at these highs. Tesla's still holding out, although Tesla's at day's high as well. If we like the short, this may be a spot for it right there. So yeah, it looks like you're into a firm on a day 2 or 3 play.
It's a day 2 play on a firm, and AMD is now triple top at 110. So we got, look, obviously you're going to be able to get away with the reversion play when it works, but you come back up here a second time, yeah, you're going to have to actually dip this. I'm not convinced that I shouldn't at least be trying a breakout trade. And I've thrown a trail on a firm. Let me just go over to firm for a second. Thrown a trail on a firm. If it loses a prior bar, after it made that top here at 75, 76.5, if it breaks that prior bar low, going to get out because VWAP is $1 away here on a firm. And it got $1 from 76 to these highs at 77. I'm not going to give it $1 the way back in. I think a reasonable pullback gets you to VWAP, so we'll stop it up for a tight stop underneath that prior bar. Otherwise, holding through a 77 break here on a firm, looking pretty strong. And as pointed out in the chat, shout out to our chat. If you want to be part of our great community, well, you already are if you're watching. But the other thing you can do is be in our chat, and you got to be a subscriber to be in the chat. So thank you guys for always contributing, because I completely forgot that oftentimes Upstart will follow, and Upstart's going to be reporting this week, and they will follow Affirm at some time. So you can play this one. It's going nicely off VWAP. I just like Affirm because we got the numbers, and they're already blowing it out. And yeah, it's about to break 110 here on AMD. There's 2 things I'm looking for. I really don't care which one happens. Either it breaks trend under and I short it to VWAP again, or we're just going to try a breakout trade through 110. More of a scalp trade than anything else. Came in liking shorts on AMD, but you see how strong it is. Can't ignore that. Let's go to Adair. We got breaking news.
I mean, we have SpringWorks Therapeutics here. If you're a small cap trader, this one, it could be in watch here, about a 20% short float. It did get a little bit of volume here around 10 a.m. Then we actually had a little bit of a halt. Basically, what happened here, I'm seeing this catalyst, reports that Merck is in discussions here to acquire SpringWorks. This is reported by Reuters. So SWTX on watch here with an acquisition rumor regarding Merck. Again, reported by Reuters, this company does have a 20% short float. Back to you.
I guess
acquisition and short float are 2 things that are pretty nasty. Like if you're short, literally the last thing you want to hear is buyout rumors. So yeah, watch out for a squeeze. If you want to see the actual details, though, and Merck's got to do something. That stock, like there's an example of a stock that you probably don't realize how bad it's been because people tend to pay attention to how bad Pfizer and Moderna have been, and you have no idea that Merck is. I didn't want to say getting Mercked, but I mean getting Mercked. It's just true.
Yeah, too late. All right, so we just got Mercked, I guess, on Tesla, but not. Again, it's just like this is what I'm trying to tell you guys. Like, just for me today, it's been just like we have the trades. Like that's a great out, you know, but like we don't have the long. So it's just like you know, it's just about having those trades. You need to have some of those trades on in order to get something right there. So, yeah, so I'll be red there today. And like we say, you know, I sit here and I tell you like, okay, daily goal met and stuff like that. So not met today as we go red in the day, but what we're red is basically our daily goal. So right there, okay, 359.70, 360. So I just took a little small short here just to try to test this 360 level on Tesla. I mean, it's really going, and so that's been a great trade. We said that we would wait for 366. It looks like we did not follow those rules, but I was completely fine. This was a mistake. I wish that was not, because that was a great long down there. But the short's definitely pumping through now. There's 360. That bottom right there, we're going to try this. 360.50 break, we're out of this short. This is just one last try on this coming up into 360. Not like a big position or anything, but still would be a hit, obviously, if we do take that out. So I'm going to put the stop in now at 360.51. Look, sometimes these hits are going to come through, and sometimes they're going to get them on the other side. So we'll have to watch out right now for Tesla going the other way. But volume definitely coming into this market, really nice, right? We had Amazon. Amazon's a name that I like. 232. Okay, I'm trying to find names that are coming on our little screener here. iBit for some reason, but iBit's 97.5.
I got Apple, AMD.
That's why. Look at Tesla. Yeah, Tesla's breaking. Go ahead. You have
Apple, AMD, Amazon, Intel, Nvidia, Palantir. Like those are the lists on my trade rate. So I didn't get the reverse on AMD there, which is we got out at 110. I just didn't get the long at 110 reversing through. Use one order next time. Neil, don't fire two. It doesn't really matter. We'll see if we can't get picked up at the 110 level. But just looking at the trade rate, like AMD's going, Intel going, Nvidia, those are the three. And just in terms of, you want to see that, what's the rapidity? No, the rapidness of the tape. And a lot of times I like that trade rate to give you an idea of what you want to be involved in, at least at the moment. So Nvidia is still holding the top of the channel, looking very, very good. Affirm just broke out 77. So Affirm, believe it or not, is at 52-week highs. You know it's a bull market when stocks like this, like the stock is up like 4x from August, but it's going. There's 52-week highs on Affirm. Want it to hold out that 77. If you fail a 52-week high break, yeah, that's one of those that I'm not holding back through. Oftentimes. So I'm going to tighten up the stop underneath that 77 level here on Affirm. Still looking for that pullback in Nvidia. And one last one for you, as we had mentioned, did not get the reversal through 110 on AMD. Kind of left the order in to see if I get picked up. Have not been picked up yet. I don't have another acronym for it because today it's not really destroying any money if you're long. Can't say that it's an advanced money destroyer today because up 2.5 points. The chips are definitely strong with the exception of ON Semi.
All right. Yeah, no, I see you in the chat there. Don't revenge trade Tesla. Yeah, I'm not. I'll explain that in a minute. You're just at 360 right now, so it's a big key level. Here it goes to the upside. We're not like layering into anything right there, but I just want to show Palantir because that just came on the chat right there. Yeah, I mean, we talked about 110, but the problem is like we've already been down into this pretty low area here of 109 and change. So yeah, I think this is a decent bid opportunity here in and around 110. I would use kind of these bottom wicks that they've already showed us where the short might be for Tesla, for Palantir. So, you know, if you're looking for a break short, it might be that 109 and change. I'm actually going to, now that I look at that chart, I'm going to cancel those dip buys. I think it's a better dip buy if we're able to get that down there because look at the market up 1.16. I do think that playing this relative weakness into Palantir, we do know that when Kathy et al. Come barking, you can get some, decent returns on longs. But at the same time, I'm not sure where that's going to happen. I mean, some nice volume right off the open there. It can do this again. So that's all. All right, so we did get a dip down. We were just positive on Tesla, and we didn't do anything about it. It comes right back into 359. There it is. So I was going to say I put a bid there as it comes back in just a little bit here on Tesla. So you guys are mentioning like revenge trading. I told you that's not what we're doing. So we're just getting some out now, trying to play off this 360. It's just because it's the close. Like I would sort of, if it's a name that I'm looking short, we've already sort of not followed our rules, and it wasn't that. It's like it didn't get to the high area that we thought it would, into that 366 area, but then it had bounced off VWAP basically, not really even there, but 50 period there. So we were trying to play those same shorts because it worked there, and then right at 9:45 or so is where we really got some action to the upside right now. So yeah, we'll be short this name. Look, man, I mean, if this goes down basically 30 more cents, then we're up on the stock. So we've really done a good job of trading it with the right amount of share size. So that would be that one. Big Bear AI is going to be the L on the day for me, as we just tried it again. We talked about that. We were able to get some out, then in and out at 860, not working out for us. So Big Bear to the downside. I don't know, Big Bear down, Palantir down today, maybe some of those AI names. What about that BFRG?
Well, there's that, the pharma one's making a move.
Okay, here goes Tesla.
So a firm just took 78. Every dollar is going to be a bit of a trail. It's got a very... It's a steep trend line, but it's got two trends, one from the bottom, one from the breakout. This is pretty steep. If it loses even dollar, it's going to lose that trend, and I jump out. AMD, we left the order in at 8s. We got picked up on the way back. And this is sort of a, hey, you know, like I know what I did. If you want to reverse, I can fire one order instead of two. I fired two and did not get the reversal, so I punched out of the short and then had to wait to get picked up on the long. Of course, you can just set one order, get out of the short, and reverse into the long, which I could have done. So AMD looking strong today. We like to short into that 110, but 110 broke. 111 is the next resistance level. I like short AMD at all prior resistance, so any long is a scalp into the next resistance level, which just happens to be at 111, and I'll look for a reversion off of that price. Nvidia still looking very strong as well, and yeah, don't really, let me know what else you guys are looking at here, because obviously there's a lot happening in this market, and I'm just looking at the same stocks, like Firm, Nvidia, AMD, Tesla, because Big Bear for me did not set up and then hold that trend. It's actually trending to the, it's now trending down. Like, you know, once we didn't hold on to that prior high, I'm not chasing any shorts down here, and I don't know where the reversion would be to the long side unless it was, I'm probably looking at like 750, like all the way down in here for a bit of a catch the bid or a curl on BBAI. NASDAQ up 1.2%. So I guess this is one of those years where an NFC team can win and the market does well, because I read something about it, the market liking AFC better. Who cares? As long as the Chiefs lost, we're all happy. Let's go to Adara for the small cap recap.
Go Adara.
IWM basically flat on the day here, slightly positive initially, much higher, but basically giving up a lot of that gap up that we had today, holding on as of right now to 226, which did surface a little bit of support as of Friday. Lots of small caps to talk about, including SWTX. As mentioned, this one came onto the this one came onto the scene actually a little bit off after the open here. Reports from Reuters that Merck is in discussions to acquire SpringWorks Therapeutics, SWTX. They do have a pretty large short float as well, about 20.8%. Then we have MNTS here. Sorry, that is the wrong chart there, but MNTS actually does have a smaller float, about 2.3 million shares, announcing that they have an expanded Defense Department contract for assembly of large structures in space. A great look for MNTS, Momentus. Last but not least, another space, I guess, related name here. Sorry, satellite name, SATL. This is Satellogic. No new catalyst from today, but on Friday morning, we got this catalyst here. Satellogic and Telepazio Brazil announcing a multi-year contract. So SATL making new day's highs despite no new catalyst from this morning, guys. Back to you.
All right. Thanks, Adara. I mean, Adara needs to just be there more, because every time she's over there, Tesla seems to be, I'm able to get some out here as it drips back down again there for Tesla, and then it stops completely. So, yeah, hopefully we can get back in again. You know, we're short up here. We just took some more profit on TSLA. So, yeah, just waiting for more to happen. Look, I do realize that Big Bear AI had a huge week last week. I just thought today there was a chance for it to go again. Obviously, we're wrong. We were completely right early. Then it faded out, as Neil mentioned there. We'll both be red there on BBAI. But we could have left it alone again. But I'm still fine. We're able to make a little bit of money back on these reloads, but then not right there. All right, and as I just said, man, like Tesla, now we can officially, I guess, stop, because it looks like we'll break above that 360.50 area, and then now we'll have to wait for it. So again, we'll be red on it, but not that much, as we were able to grab all of these shorts back in there on Tesla before eventually it takes that spot that we were short at. So yeah, let's stay away from it. We can find other stocks, or just wait for that to go. Your call there on Palantir down at 110, someone there in the chat. I mean, Wow, what a call that was. I mean, and you said it too. It's like, hey, Sean, Palantir's at your 110 level, but I just told you I wasn't there when that was happening, and I didn't really want to buy that, but you're 100% right.
Look at that.
As there goes Palantir, man, straight upside. There goes Tesla, there goes Palantir. I mean, it's working out for the account, that is for sure.
NASDAQ wants 2 today.
Yeah, I mean, Uber's almost, NASDAQ wants 2. Yeah, Uber wants 2. We're almost $2 in the money on Uber, but a little bit less shares. So yeah, there it was. Hey, what's up? Oh, it's T-Money. Okay. Shout out to you, T-Money, there in the chat. You know, congrats. Great trade there. And yeah, so Tesla trying to get up. Intel pumping as well. We sort of, Adair did have that story there, but still dropping off of 20. Nice level there of 2010. See, normally I think that would be a short, but the market's on one again. This has been a great rebound for the NASDAQ.
Yeah, a huge rebound for the NASDAQ. Super strong move. We'll take it. I'm going to take it. I'm not looking to get the horse in the mouth. Firm broke 76. Fresh highs at 77. Trail out on trend at 78. So this was one that set up a little bit later, like once, twice, triple top there on a firm, and we'll just get in, get out. AMD still holding higher. It's really starting to slow down in terms of velocity, but it's still holding trend to the upside. That 110 hasn't really gone all that far just yet. I don't really need that trend line anymore. That was the short trend line. Now you're working on a different trend to the upside. 111 is next resistance on AMD. So I liked every resistance level for short on AMD. The first one was 110. 111 is next. So I will get it out in front of 111. Adam DeLuz, what up in the chat? You may have missed my message. Thoughts on Alphabet, since you didn't want AMD, Affirm, Nvidia, Tesla, etc. Well, I do like some of those names. We've been trading all of those today. But Alphabet was one that, I don't know, it just didn't feel like there was much of a catalyst on it today. 187.40 prior highs. Ooh, Adam, you know we like prior highs holding a support. There is a resistance. There is a resistance. The market's strong. There's not much of a catalyst with Google today, but you're basically bull flagging off of that same level. So yeah, that is a good look there on Alphabet. I just want to get back into Nvidia. You know, I think that's the name that we let it get away from us a little bit here. Thinking it's going to pull back into VWAP just because it has most days. It's because something usually happens doesn't mean it'll always happen. And you're putting in higher lows on Nvidia and not going anywhere close to VWAP here at 133. Stephen ATN, how do you find good resistance? It's not just any level. You want to see distinct price action there, like either just wath of sellers if you happen to be watching the tape, which we have seen because we were watching Google on Friday, or you will see multiple times the sellers will emerge. Apple is the best example of that I can think of off the top of my head. Apple in 233. What? Let me go to this chart. Apple in 233. Like you can see that one for multiple days. And then other times it goes there one time. You just see the massive selling at that level on the tape, and then you might like it for that reason. But this is kind of the best example I can think of obvious resistance on a chart.
All right. Palantir is at 113, and it looks like it wants to break. So I am going to go long through 113 and then understand that there is a possibility for a little bit of a pullback into 112. So that's going to be something. It's dancing around a little bit right now at these levels. So let's wait to see what happens now with Palantir. I mean, it could be, if I look at the NASDAQ here and the triple Qs, you know, there is a possibility for a short right into there, 530, 532. You know, we're getting up to there, but we could also just completely ignore that and blast through 532 and change. So let's wait. I definitely think that Palantir being right here right now, you'll see me into it. I'm assuming it will break. I only crossed up as high as 15s. So if it breaks higher than 15, we probably won't get it. But here it goes right now. We can sit here and watch to see. And there it goes. Okay, well, we probably get a good price there because it didn't seem like it broke too far. 03s right now on PLTR. So again, let's hold and see how far we can go up now. All right, nice little bounce there into the 20s. So we'll put it out in the 20s if we can get it. We're at 21. We just missed it. And now it probably fades out because I'm not getting those 21s. You saw 21 on the offer again there, and I just pushed 21. up, enter. So here we go. We are now long on Palantir. Let's see what winds up happening. This is about like a 3 or 4 unit play. Because we thought that we could break a little lower here, I do have some more bids at 1225 in case it does come in, and then we'll try to play off this 200 period moving average, which is 111.70. So yeah, we're trying to see if this can go. It's Palantir. Its high is 16s, I think. I mean, I don't know if the market would really need to go, but that's fine.
Randy's going to hurt his neck.
Yeah, 115. Oh, hey, what's up, Randy? Right there. So, all right, yeah, hopefully to the upside is where we're looking now.
Reach farther there. You got
for PLTR. Yeah, all the way up, Randy.
Oh, no,
See
your hand gets...
Okay, come on, Randy. All right, there it goes, Randy. We just got filled up there. Yeah, Randy. Yeah, Randy. Nice little move right there as we props it up. Okay, Neil, here goes Palantir right there to the upside. It goes my number one stock right here, but we're waiting to see if this can go. It's PLTR breaking through 113. Shout out to T-Money and shout out to all of us that are trading this name right now. We always get questions like when to buy the tops, when to buy the tops. We just did it right there. Sometimes it does not work, but for right now it does. Big trade right there. Again, 3 or 4 units. So we'll take a little bit out as we get into the 30s. So far, so good here. We are out of about 30% already. So let's see what winds up happening. Yeah, Randy is a market maker. Adam, you're right.
He is.
So, all right, let's go back over to the desk and see what Adara's up to.
I'm going to start the crypto update off with this image, which rocked social media on Saturday. To the right, you have Ryan Cohen, CEO of GameStop, and then on the left, you have Michael Saylor, leader of Strategy, formerly known as MicroStrategy. In case you missed it, they did do a bit of a rebrand. So this picture actually led to a lot of speculation on social media. Many participants speculating that it's an indication that GME might be adding Bitcoin to its balance sheet, or there'll be a greater investment into crypto from Ryan Cohen. Regardless of what it means, it's pretty notable. Ryan Cohen doesn't post super frequently. His last post prior to this came out January 27th. So certainly of note, unclear where they are in this image, but I thought an interesting one to bring up given that GME is running, and of course, Strategy's rebrand just last week, guys. Now, in terms of crypto, Bitcoin was pretty anemic over the weekend. Both Saturday and Sunday, not a ton of movement, closing relatively flat. Though Sunday, we actually wicked here into 94.70s. Today, trying to trade higher, getting as high as 98 plus, but giving up some of that move right now, trying to hold into this 97,000 level. So I'll have to wait and see if Bitcoin can kind of curl off of this pretty stagnant period we've been having right now. Now, Bitcoin, like I said, basically flat, slightly positive on the day. Ethereum, pretty much the same, holding on to 26.5s. Then we have Solana up about 1%. Cardano up about 1.5%, but BNB, Dogecoin both a little bit weaker on the day. So lots of discrepancies and not a ton of, I guess, confluence with regards to how these different names are trading, guys. Back to you.
Not a lot of confluence. I like the word. AMD just did a bit of a topping tail candle, so we're out on this move here. Also lost the trend line. So we shorted into VWAP first, then we shorted again into 110 lose, and then we went on the long on AMD. So we'll go 2 for 3. I'm kind of thinking with the market strength, it's still holding higher lows on AMD. So if it holds VWAP in here or the prior high at 110, should be looking for some kind of a long re-entry. Nvidia's not doing that type of a dip. And in a strange note, the other chip name, which is super strong, Intel just wicked $20 and lost the bid a little bit on Intel. It's not quite at the 50 period on the daily where I would think there'd be bigger resistance. So it's like if it does one more push to the upside, I know Intel's strong today, it's up 5%, but it's done these moves where you get the big power move into a resistance level and you get these reversions in the middle of the day. So we'll let this one calm down a bit. It's the only other chip name I'm watching. Those are the 3, AMD, Intel, and Nvidia. And Nvidia does not want to give us any kind of a solid entry. Affirm is starting to pull back as well. So that's looking like it could be one. Apple, I thought was going to be a push into 233 to short it. But as you can clearly see, right into afternoon resistance at 230.5. And now all of a sudden it is weaker than the overall market and failing to break through a big resistance level. So if we're not going to get Apple at 233, just have to look somewhere else. I don't know about VWAP just yet, but sellers emerging at 230.5. We'll probably try to short it there. Still like 33 better, but if it doesn't get there, you can't short it.
No, that would be true. All right, so yeah, I don't know, props up. Thank you to everybody there in the chat as Palantir just continue. I mean, now it's 1160, 1170, sorry, 11360, 11370, trying to go back up to the upside right here. I'm not supposed to eat, but all right, here we go, 1160. We're going to go swimming here in the afternoon. All right. Yeah, I'm just going to rest on this. My next offer right now is, I don't have one. So let's have a quick look at that. This is going to be I mean, Neil and I sit here all morning, and then all of a sudden this stock happens, and it's just a banger right there to the upside. So 114.50 maybe. I think we can get something out at 114. I mean, obviously it looks like that's where it wants to go. So we still have more than half. We have about 65% or so of this trade. Let's put something in the 80s to get a piece out that we just talked about. So I'm going to, now all the outs now will be about 10% of what we have left, because I don't want to just completely get out of everything. So 114.25, we'll put another piece there as well. Here we go, nice little upside. Okay, we just put an 86 there. I'm not sure why we put an 86 exactly, but there it is, nice move. Neil, man, this is 80 cents, $1 right now since we've been putting this up. So yeah, here we go. Look, man, I mean, I don't know. I told you guys that we were red today, and I don't think, I'm not sure if you guys want to say if you guys are red or not in the chat, but we got hit there on BBAI, which was a try. I mean, again, this is our #1 idea, so we're going to get hit on it, but we're not. We're like hit our daily goal, basically. So you guys will see me sit here and I say, okay, there we are. We're up our daily goal on the morning, but we lost that on BBAI. So we wound up down right there on that name. Tesla, I mean, comfortable loss for us on this position. It was up and down and then short just didn't work. Although probably the short comes in at some point, but whatever. On that one, so we'll have to wait for that. MNTS has been a beautiful trade. Obviously, as we're pretty much out of this. We'll wait to see if it goes. And then Uber, I mean, Uber's been, we did not get reloaded. We should maybe, that's why we hit that right now. But Uber was an absolute monster. And then right now, the P&L #1 for me today, obviously, will be Palantir, as it's starting to go up now. Here's 114. I'm going to get just one piece out. Normally, I said I wasn't going to do this, but there's another piece at 97. We have to do it, man. It is $1 right there, smooth. And we talked about taking it, so here we go. It was just 5 minutes ago where we were like, oh, man, I don't know what price we're going to get breaking 113. We wound up getting 113.03s. So here it comes right now. There goes 114. I'm not adding to it. We still have more than half of this position on. So you know what I mean? Like, let's see what winds up happening. We had a good trade by Neil on Nvidia early. But here we go. Nice move to the upside now on Palantir. Starting to get some of the day back right now.
Yeah, that dip on Palantir, that fake out at the bottom, which sometimes they like to do that. They like to get the weak hands out at the open at 9:30, and then you get that breakout trade. Shout out to Turd Stockman, Amazon short. Here's your last chance. I haven't looked at Amazon today, but certainly it's worth looking at Amazon. ASTS also moving. Jeez. And yeah, you're absolutely right, Paul. Affirm is going. Actually, Affirm was better for me than Nvidia. Didn't get back into Nvidia, and then Affirm did that same breakout at 76. Like not the same as Nvidia, but the same as Palantir.
Wow.
Where it dipped higher lows into the breakout trade, but now you're at 79. I didn't get back in after it reverted the trend. Just want to be patient with it. And as you mentioned, Amazon powering up, and this is a bit of a trend break. But I haven't looked at it till just now, and usually I want something probably closer to a resistance level. Not necessarily setting up perfect for me. Usually I want it like breaking off of those highs. But it is a good setup. I see what you're talking about with the trend reversal, but I haven't been paying attention to Amazon, so I wouldn't want to just jump over and trade that. It's Nvidia, it's Affirm, it's AMD. Those are the ones we want to stick with. Those are the ones that have worked so far, like short to long on AMD. Only longs on Nvidia, which has yet to put a red candle in on the 15-minute on the day. The first time it does, I want to look for a bounce off of that candle and see if it can't hold any dip. 133 is kind of that big gap resistance or support level now on advanced micro devices. I believe we are taking care of a little business.
Yeah, we're taking some kids' business on MNTS as well. Nice trade there. Traders, listen up. First month free. That's right. We're waiving the fee on the eSignal platform. So make sure you want to trade smarter, not harder. Upgrade to an elite experience. Analyze, strategize, capitalize. This platform has everything. Infinite data, instant trading, lightning fast market insights. Also, connect to your broker, right? I mean, get involved with that ASAP. Make your trading easier and more customizable with eSignal. Also, the back testing is for real. I back test everything. Look at this. Palantir is absolutely monstrous right now, by the way. And that part of that trade is because we've been able to backtest. If you're ready to elevate your trading, do it immediately by scanning that QR code. Trade smarter, not harder. Hey, it's a first month free. There's nothing you can lose by entering into that. So let's see what happens right there with eSignal. Thank you so much for them for offering that. And look, I think you guys should take advantage of it, man. I mean, it was sort of a long time coming there. We wanted to get a platform like that on board, and we do it right there with eSignal. So yeah, all right. I was just going to post this Palantir trade, but again, never too late to the party, honestly. I mean, we always get, I know Joe and Sharif and Neil, we always get questions about like, you know, what are we looking at? What's our trade? What does it look like? And what about breaking through tops? Well, you guys, T-Money and everybody there was sort of suggesting this bottom down there. And it was right in the chat. It was like, bro, it's at your 110 level. 100% right. It was there. I looked at it a little bit too late as it bumped up, was waiting for that pullback. But again, you have to be confident in what you're doing. And I think that that's kind of what we were just doing right there with Palantir. It broke the top. We had talked about a 113 break earlier, and then we didn't put it in because it did this move. But sort of glad, obviously, that we did now as PLTR, really making it move now and changing my whole outlook on the day right now. So we just added it back. It's a really big trade now for Palantir. So I hope some of you are there, even though it was only 3 or 4 units, still a good trade there. I'm going to get some more out right now at 1450 on PLTR. And that's there it is. We just got it. That's my last offer right now. So let's see if we can even get higher and higher and higher right now as Palantir, Neil, almost $2 straight in the money. We're really happy with it as it continues to go up. And so does Big Bear AI, by the way. That's trying to find a bottom there at 820. Again, I really like that stock, Big Bear AI.
Yeah, it's definitely looking like reversion. It
Yeah.
just needs to hold above VWAP, right? And then it will look real good. By the way, SMR, we were talking about the nuclear name, 7% to the upside, as that's absolutely powering it out. Looks like it's gonna, we can go to there in a quick little second, but it just recently broke the double top, so it's above that 27.5. I don't usually love breakouts at this time of day, so I'm just gonna nibble in. And on SMR, we did like this a little bit earlier, it just didn't make that breakout until now. On this nuclear name, I almost said nano-nuclear, but that's a different stock. Let's go to the desk again.
Keep an eye here on Microsoft. Reading here on X, apparently the company is facing an French antitrust probe with regards to its Bing access. So Microsoft here, antitrust probe sounds like coming out of France. Also, may as well while we're here, it's around that time, we can just do this sector watch as well. Lots of red in this finance sector. Wells Fargo, Morgan Stanley, and AXP all sharply down in the day. Technology services pretty strong across the board, led by Oracle, Adobe, and Fortinet. Fortinet's actually day 2 earnings play. Electronic technology looking pretty good here as well. Nvidia, Broadcom, AMD all pretty strong. Retail trade looking pretty good, led by an upside move in Amazon. Energy minerals strong across the board here. Communications looking pretty good. And then health technology, consumer services, consumer non-durables a little bit more mixed. So quite the mixed picture, but definitely finance bringing down the market, whereas these tech names trying to push it up to the upside, guys. Back to you.
All right.
NASDAQ stock.
So we've now just made we made the same on Palantir, basically, that we wound up losing on Big Bear. So right now, that's fine. You know, like obviously if we would have used more shares, this would have been a completely different story, but the breakouts hadn't been great. So there goes Palantir, nice move there to the upside. Yeah, man, Adara, Sebastian, we do know that Adara's definitely been crushing it. So we want to thank Adara for all of that. New name alert. Let's just check out DraftKings. I, again, like DraftKings. I want to thank some of the gambling community for allowing me to bet on the Eagles last night. That turned out pretty good. So we're able to grab that. We had the Eagles +2. We had it early. As soon as, because we had said this, like I knew that some team would beat Kansas City, and it looks like they did.
It was the wrong team.
That was a nice one. Well, yeah, unfortunately, other teams had a chance. But all right, so DraftKings, again, good trading there today. But yeah, I just wanted to check it out. It wasn't scanning on anything. 0.7. Again, like the name, like the stock, but DraftKings just needs some work. It's not really there. If you're down there at that bottom near 42, then I can obviously see a trade involving DraftKings. But yeah, man, now $2 up to 115. Again, like the stock here with Palantir. Let's see if we can get even higher. We talked about that 116. Remember we zoomed out, and that's where we found that 114.50 area. So that's been good for us so far, right into there. Right into here. So that's kind of where we are now. So let's just wait to see if we can get something going now with Palantir, right? So just kind of maybe we're stopping out. We are lighter and lighter on that. We have 1/3 left of our PLTR position.
Yeah, great look there. And Affirm actually looking a little toppish.
I'm gonna get out.
If that's even a word, it's almost at the $80 level. Here's what I'm sort of looking at. You already broke one trend, and now you're attempting to break another one back into the downside. And the other thing is Apple, I said I'm now willing to look for the short off the highs. Well, since the market's been continually going, Apple can't break VWAP all of a sudden. So Apple looking at up 1%, but it's looking relatively weak. I'm going to try to short this one and back into VWAP here. Like this is what you see with the Nasdaq. Straight up, all green candles with the exception of one here on the 15 at the open, and all you're doing is failing the same top and then lower highs here as a pattern on Apple. The new position, I'm just going to throw the black chart up here for a second, bring it on down, is SMR breaking out that high. It is also the top from Friday. So it's Friday's high break as well. If it loses 27, I think it loses this move, but it's a squeezable type of name, so it can easily move another dollar if it breaks that high. So Apple looking relatively weak. Nvidia is still like very, very small range here up at the top. This might turn into a 135 break or bust here in Nvidia. It's just not doing as much activity as it was before. All of a sudden, I see Tesla going. Look at the candles on Tesla. Wow, that's an upward move. Had that one wrong. We were looking short. We shorted at VWAP, and now all of a sudden it is going to test this 363, the 365 area any second out here in Tesla. So SMR is the only new position. I'm suddenly looking for a reversion in Affirm because at some point when Affirm does this, it usually has a pretty good pullback. It hasn't done that big pullback yet. Even on Friday, like this thing went up like $8 and the pullback was like $5 on the reversion. So I'm looking for VWAP if it can break trend.
All right, yeah, what's up, Sam? I know I should be in Nvidia. I mean, we called Nvidia early, we just missed it, and then our sort of distractions were elsewhere, and we should have been in Nvidia. So I understand that completely, but I can't be in them all. We got Uber's a great one, we got Palantir's a great one. BBAI is not, although now it's starting to go back to the upside, therefore, Big Bear. I mean, shout out to Chef Joe and everybody that indicated Amazon earlier. I mean, we had talked about it. I mean, look at the 5-minute chart. It is just straight fire northbound right now on Amazon, and we love this stock. I mean, I absolutely love this name. So I hope you guys are really enjoying the show. Palantir, I'm going to hold on now. I mean, you guys are saying 120. I'm going to let it break through 115. I mean, and then if we can get through 115, then, I mean, since then, that top right there, 115.60, 115.50. I mean, I think it wants to get there, right? So I'm going to put in an offer at 115.25 for like maybe 10% of what we have, and then 115.50 for another 10% or so on Palantir as it just keeps on going higher, trying to break right now. This will be the biggest trade here for me today. So nice move there for Palantir. And yeah, we're not almost out of it. We have 30% left. So hopefully that will continue its upside. Bye-bye, Palantir. There's a $2 winner. All right, so Nvidia. Yeah, we should have. I mean, we wrote down 128, 129. It gets as low as 130, then boom. So I got to do better getting that. I completely understand it. And then the other trade that we wanted was Tesla. I still feel like I like the short, but doesn't matter what I like. It's only what the stock likes. And then IBIT, I wrote down maybe a dip buy there at 54. I don't think we're anywhere near there because that needed to get to
Bitcoin
96. Yeah, so Bitcoin today. I guess it must have been, remember I was like, oh, why is it showing IBIT? But I guess that must have been there at VWAP. But IBIT has fallen back in again. I just liked it down there. I wrote down 54 thinking that if for some reason we got back into this level, fine. So that would be a second sort of day play, like on a second part of the day. It doesn't look like it's going to get there. If the market does fall off these levels, which we've talked about it on the Qs, right? It does looks a little bit overextended. This is a big week of earnings again with some more like of the lesser market impactful names, but still could play on, like we had ON Semi today, like that could play in the right space, right? And then a couple more names coming on later. We have McDonald's. There's a bunch of different things happening. 531, 532 Upstart, 532. So Nvidia is still coming, remember, at the 26th.
Yeah.
So it's them and somebody else. That's huge that day. We looked the other day. All right, so nice little pullback there on Palantir. Let's just be patient. I don't really have any targets for this thing. I think we'll just get out for flat if it does wind up breaking down. We want to watch out for the 50-period moving average. There's been days where we've like watched this 50 period just hold. So if we can get like something like that, but on the upside, then that would be great. So there are opportunities for pullbacks, and we'll get out of it. Again, holding a little less than a third right now on Palantir.
And back to the testing the top here on that SMR, but no secondary breakout just yet. So it broke Friday's high, dipped and held a higher low, but you'd still need to take out that top on the way to 28. What is Nvidia doing? Just looked up to double check on Nvidia. Still in the same pattern, Nvidia, not really chasing it. We've seen this story before on the strong days in Nvidia. If you're patient, it's been giving you these dips into VWAP even on the strong days. So when that happens, you want to be locked and loaded, sitting at your desk and ready to grab it, because it's every single time it's been this strong. You've had a VWAP test in the last couple of weeks. I feel like we're going to get one and still want to respect it. AMD, which were in short to VWAP and then broke out, now holding 110. So forget about this one pulling into VWAP for now. Not too far. It's just that prior high, like Friday's high is now turned into a support level. It's bounced once, maybe look for a bounce a second time in here, and then Affirm is the other one we're watching. It's starting to break trend here after almost getting to the 80. We've only gone long this one. Probably missed an opportunity to short it off of 80, but still that prior high at 77. That's a 52-week high that it broke out. So we get back into 77. That's where I like the reload on AFRM, looking super, super strong. And the other one that we're keeping eyes on Intel, I thought maybe it would get to 20.5 before pulling back. It's already at VWAP. So this might have been a missed opportunity, but I didn't like the short until it went at least another percent to the upside on Intel. So it's at VWAP now. I like AMD and Nvidia better. I think we'll wait for those to give us a dip buy as opposed to Intel. While up 4%, it's the only one that pulled back this deep. So it's relatively weak in the moment.
What's up, Nimit? Nimit visited us here, of course. We still have, I was actually opening some beers on the weekend with your Singapore opener. So thank you, Nimit. I wonder if you took some advice there on some of your other positions. We talked about crypto, you and I. All right, so you're welcome. Let's go bang. First of all, bang, and then I just want to give props up because this is what we're doing here on the community. This is why I'm trying to trade other names. You know, like a Big Bear. Big Bear was #1 idea on here. It's gonna be my #1 losing trade on here as well. I haven't posted anything. I've been busy trading here this morning, but there it is. Nimit, thanks for trading MNTS. Got my target of the day. So floss it off, Nimit, right there. You are welcome. And we always, you know, it's great when you hit your targets. We talked about that. We've made great strides in battling back here today. So, you know, nothing wrong with what we've been doing there. And most of it is thanks to Palantir. We've had a great trade on Uber. We had an okay trade on Tesla. I still like the short, but unfortunately it's just not panning out right now for that trade. And then the loser would be that Big Bear AI. I don't know what's for lunch, but I do know that Adair is on the desk with Money Talks.
It is indeed time for Money Talks here, and the dollar has actually been upside. We're poised for 3 straight days of upside for the USD, and actually 2 slightly higher lows from this first low here, January 27th. That low just around 107. Then we have a slightly higher low around 107.27 that we made on February 5th. So let's see if this trend continues. Lower highs, though, still definitely the theme for the US dollar. And also worth noting here, no economic data yet today. But at 11 a.m., we're going to be getting NY Fed inflation. So we're going to have to wait and see what happens. We know the inflation expectation aspect of the University of Michigan number that came through at 10 a.m. on Friday came in much stronger than expected, which did lead to some selling in the market. So be cognizant of that number at 11 a.m. Not one that usually makes much of a move, but certainly something to be aware of. So let's take a look here. Speaking of that higher than expected inflation expectation print we got on Friday, how are we seeing these rate cuts? So right now, 91.5% of participants pricing in no rate change in the next meeting here for March. Then May, we have 71.6% of participants still not expecting any cuts. So looks like right now, vast majority of participants are expecting we're going to have rates steady at least for the next few months. We're going to have to see how that all comes to fruition, but certainly something to be aware of. Seems like right now the theme is caution, guys. Back to you.
Caution. Cautiously optimistic.
Take
well,
some caution on that.
You don't have to be cautious in this market. Like it's just we're back to like it's a bull market. You know, if it's a good company, if it's a good stock, if it's got any kind of a reasonable trend, just buy the dips. You know, and even today, like you had a reversal. You know what? You haven't actually had a complete reversal on Tesla, but Tesla with a bit of a bounce. So we just made a break of the top here on SMR. I wanted to zoom this one out. just to show the daily chart, at 28.5-ish on the daily, you're going to run into a bit of a lower high here. You got some wicks up at $30, but for the most part, like you had, close open at that 28.5. So that would be a reasonable target if we broke that 28 level to the upside. On SMR, looking pretty strong. Nvidia is actually pulling back. I mean, slowly, like if this even counts as a pullback, but you're starting to get a little bit of a dip. So this could be our move into VWAP for the first time today on Nvidia. We do definitely like this one. If it comes in, any kind of a bounce off of the VWAP, we're going to like on Nvidia. And with only 7 minutes to go, I still like Apple short at VWAP. I'm just not sure we're going to get it. Apple showed its weakness when the market was breaking highs. I thought we'd get maybe one more test at the top there, and then it just absolutely rolled over. So liking Apple short. I like the Apple short at 233. We're not going to get to 233 barring a minor miracle here. So we're going to look for the short off of VWAP. And Affirm hasn't really done much of anything yet. It's really just Nvidia. Look for the dip buy. Hold on to SMR, at least for a test of $28. My stop is now a break even after getting into this one on a break and then dip. So I let it break. I don't like breakouts at that time of the day. I like to buy the dips after the breaks. It's one thing to take breakouts, I think, at 9:30 to 10 o'clock. I'm not a huge fan of them. Once you get past like 10, 10:30, let it break the level and then find a dip buy off a support level. Seems to be a little bit safer of a way to play it at this time of day.
All right, 186.89, new position right now. Oh no, did we just punch out of it? No, we did not. Okay, good. What's up, Travolta? You doing okay? All right, so here we go, man. New position alert for Google. We'll just grab some right here and see what winds up happening. Again, it fell back in. It fell back into VWAP. We talked about a stock that I actually was debating punching. We wasn't debating it, but we had talked about it potentially punching that 188 long on that break, right? I mean, to me, it almost looks like the fact that we held this 200 period moving average and now we're right back into here. It's close enough to get me interested because that is at 186.80. So it makes a little bit of sense. Oh, all right, well, we just got our 10 cents there. Okay, all right. Now we're getting a little more, Neil. Okay, just like that right now, Google, I mean, we don't have too many winners there today, but there it goes, nicely done. Well, we'll be mixed, half and half. We lost on Big Bear. We lost on Tesla. That's it. Win on Uber. Win on Palantir. Win on MNTS. Okay, I don't know why I'm so Debbie Downer here. But there it goes, man. It's a nice move right now for Google, Neil. And oh boy, we put in some risk now into this trade. So this is the same about 2 to 3, 4 or so risk spot now on Google. Oh yeah, we're bringing this one back. Google just like that, as a matter of fact. And this is what happens when you trade a little bigger. What's up, Obi? Oh yeah, you guys are about to get treat of the day, man. You got Obi subbing in there for the man, the myth, the legend. It is Sharif, not here today. So Obi will be there. And oh boy, Neil, there it goes, man. Nice trade on that one as the bulls are back in on Google. So we waited for it. It goes right up to the upside right now. So just like that, we have some two monsters right now in our blotter right there with Palantir and with Google. So right now, Google only 40 cents in the money, but I am now out of a third of this trade on Google. So well cooked right there. We'll get out a little bit more as it's just going uncontrollably now to the upside. Good trade, hopefully, on Google. So not too bad. Yeah, we didn't even look at GameStop today. I mean, again, it hasn't been, I'll speak for myself, whatever, but we won't be green today unless this Google starts to go. So for me, that's what it is for me here. Slightly red.
Yeah, well, we did look at GameStop for like 1 minute. I call up the chart, mentioned that there was a thing with Michael Saylor and Ryan Cohen, and that's about it. Didn't think there was enough action on GameStop. By the way, topping tail candle. Why am I not out of SMR? All right, I'm just going to make an assumption that I misplaced my stop, and I'll punch out manually. So I was about to tell you there was a trend up into 28, and I had my trailing stop under the break of trend, but it didn't trigger, which obviously meant I must have put it at the wrong price, so I just punched out of SMR. We bought the dip on trend line. It wicked underneath. We're going to jump out of it. So SMR, you're not bad. I would have liked to see it carry through a little bit better on the last piece, but I got to follow the rule. If it has to hold, it needs to hold that trend when we buy the dip, and when it doesn't, we're going to get out of it. Nvidia, I saw a lot of people saying you should get back into Nvidia in the chat. I get it, it's still strong. I'd love to see it press a little bit more into the bid here. Just want to be patient. Patience with Nvidia. It was a clean-ish breakout trade, and really you could have had this one at 131 instead of the $0.50, and you could have done even better. But I don't want to compromise here. Like, Nvidia's been good today. You know, obviously the one that stunk. I mean, Tesla and BBAI, although I haven't gotten back into BBAI, but when I look at it, here, I'll give you this. It did hold that afternoon support there at 820, and it did try to break the trend from VWAP. It hasn't done it yet. It could, at least it's trying to set up for, like, you know, you slap this trend in there, it could double bottom off it and then revert the move. So that's what I'd be waiting for. But I bought the initial dip off the prior low, and it broke the prior low and just got out. So that's like a buy. I want to make sure it's holding above VWAP, and then you scalp it into the high. That didn't work. Now I'm looking for a trend reversion on BBI. Still making a series of lower highs. Until it breaks that, you know, going to have to wait patiently for that long. Probably should have paid for locates just in case, but wasn't thinking shorts on BBAI today, so obviously not going to do that. And then Affirm is another. It was pretty clean break through 76, and it just does not want to pull back. I still think Affirm is going to do some kind of a bigger dip. It has a tendency, when it has these parabolic moves, to have some sharp declines, and I want to look for that type of a decline to get back into the long. With only about 1 minute to go, I know you guys are looking at a bunch of names in there. I saw Moon Sottle in the chat saying, what do we think of IBM and Netflix? Don't trade Netflix as a day trade until they eventually will do a split, which we've all been waiting for multiple years now. But the other day, someone was like, man, Netflix is looking weak. It's selling off. I forget who it was in the chat. I think it was on Friday.
Oh, guys.
After this dropped like $20. And it's like, that's nothing. Netflix holding on to the 1,000 level and just continuing to go. So super strong name, Netflix. And IBM, I like IBM. It was one of my picks when we did our 3 stock picks. I think it's a nice safe play in IBM for the quantum space. And they had great earnings as well.
Yeah, I love IBM, one of the best names there. All right, man, $1.50 in the money on Palantir, 20 cents in the money on Google. We are back into Big Bear AI right now, trying to play off that bottom wick of 820. Let's see if it wants to go. Some pressure could be coming in on that one. 50 cents in on Palantir as well. So, hey, man, it was a great day. Neil, good trading over there. We'll see if we can get it back for you in the afternoon. So hopefully everyone does well. Without any further ado,
Oh, shoot, it's 11.
Thank you so much to Andre. Thank you so much to Ramin. Thank you so much to Adara. Thanks, Bears vs. Bulls. Go check out our RSI video as well. So, all right, man, that's it. Let's go Google. Let's go Palantir. And we'll see everybody at 2 o'clock. Until then, Obi and Joe.